Ball in the collar! Oh!
This is going to be a big one.
Carvajal. That's brilliant, Upamecano, boy. No, reset, lads, reset. Upamecano's dead. Get up, Upamecano, will ya? Who's next? Oh! Back to back to back to back! Back to back to back to back! Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, lads. And the look is in for Christmas, man. Number 7 Ronaldo, and then number 7 Kante. Boom! Oh, beautiful. Oh, he's done it again. He's done it again, the Anaconda. He's done it again. Look at him. Look at this, man. Cheeky chips. 83 finishing, lads. He finishes like 103. That's Tommy Yasu. Not easily, anyway. Go on, Mbappe. You've got the pace. This be a good pass. Oh! Oh, what a pass! What a pass!
We've seen it like a few times now today where there's been a chance or two that have separated these teams, and that's it. You know, they're low scoring.
Now, Morientes, touch and go, Morientes, please. Morientes! Oh, fuck you, Morientes, you killed me. You made me dream. This is leaving us with Bellingham, Barella, Costa Curta. Double pack? Lads, what's going on? I've never seen that animation before, man. It's a 2-on-1, surely. Oh, it's a 2-on-1 after you! Get in! What's the crack, lads? Welcome back. Welcome back for the crack. This is going to be a short enough stream today. We're just going to be doing pretty much what it says on the headline or on the title of this video. We are going to be genuinely doing a revamp of our entire squad live on stream, and we're also be doing kind of something that you guys have been asking for a while, okay? So the gameplay, I reckon, is going to change. It mightn't change massively tomorrow, right? I think that's going to be something that we'll have to test out. Always with an update, they will do some sort of like, you know, they'll buff some things, they'll nerf some things, they'll improve something, they'll disimprove something else. I personally would like to see them tweak the passing. The passing at the moment, in my opinion, is probably the worst it's ever been, unless you play robotic laser passes where you cut the angle all the time. Now, what I mean by cutting the angle, okay? I'm going to show you very, very quickly in training mode before we get into this, because what I am going to be doing, I'm going to be pressing record on the video, and I'm going to be doing a full video record that is going to be recorded and then uploaded later for people that can't catch the live stream. I've also left subscriber mode on for asking questions just until I record the video. So you guys in the chat at the moment, boys, I mean, you're legends, man. You're always supporting. You're always doing whatever you want to be doing in the chat, having the crack, supporting, slagging me, all the banter and the crack as we like to have. But I will do a video for people that can't catch the live stream so that like they can just watch the video. I'll have it broken down from, goalkeepers up to centre forwards and just talk about how to build a squad that is going to be kind of like going on into the future. With kind of like, even if they do tweak the gameplay, I don't think they're going to massively change the gameplay. They might change it like 10-15%, but I reckon that anything that we talk about here is going to be like kind of relevant, right? Also, I'm going to cover a lot of stuff, but I'm not going to cover absolutely everything because I have recorded a video with a collaboration with Alex. ND, Alex obviously has a mobile, he plays the game on mobile, so we kind of did a video about training players, talking about players. I don't feel like that the game is too different from mobile now in terms of the animations, and that this game is so animation driven. And I'll show you, right? Oh man, I need to do this. I need to get my different squad in. Let me just show you something real quick with an authentic team. So just before we start this training guide kind of video and talk about kind of doing a squad, it's going to be something that like a lot of people don't they get a little bit bogged down with stuff, right? So what I'm talking about with the passing at the moment, what I'd like to see change, I'm going to do maybe 5 minutes of explaining stuff. Not saying that any of you guys need any explained to you, because your knowledge is so high of the game as well. But I want to just talk about a couple of little bits and pieces that, maybe your knowledge of the game is so advanced that it kind of like slips by you, or maybe you're a newcomer that you haven't really learned the small nuanced stuff of the game, right? So you'll hear a lot of the time with the passing. If you pass in a straight line, no matter what pass power or anything, on pass assist 2 or even the ultimate pass assist, when you're just passing the ball around here, you can see the pace of the ball, right? Even if you give it full power, right? You can see the pace of the ball is the same. It's going the same pace, no matter how much power you put on the ball. If it's traveling at a further distance, you will see that the pace of the ball kind of like accelerates for a moment, but it's still taking you the same. We're going a bit scientific here. Basically what I'm saying is with a standard pass, it's taking the pass, no matter how short the distance is or how long the distance is between the player. It takes the same amount of time for the ball to pass to the player, irrespective of the distance. So what happens is when you are defending or when you are running against a defender, what usually happens is if you're running in a straight line, the player will pass in a very straight fashion, right? So if you see here, if we're running forward in a straight line and we just run straight here and pass, it passes in a very straight way. So what a kind of an advanced thing that a lot of people don't do, and it's hard to do against a good opponent, it's called cutting the angle. So instead of passing like this in a straight line, what you do is you pass like this. You cut the angle before you pass. So even if you're passing to a direct, like straight up, you kind of cut the angle. So instead of passing straight on, you cut the angle like this. So instead of me passing here, I'm going to cut the angle like that. Does that make sense? Let me just say hello to everybody in the chat, lads. We've 100 people in the chat already on a Wednesday, man, with an unannounced stream. So you guys are absolute legends. Jack is in the chat. Jake is in the chat. Chiba, Ron, Jake is in the chat as well. Who else do we have, man? Who else do we have? Big Jeff is in the chat. Dimitri, Tomislav, what's up, everybody? Lou is in the chat. Yabba dabba doo. It's Lou. Sir Frank is in the chat. Julio's in the chat. Teabag, Steven, Shothas, Spangley's in the chat, as well as Royal Striker. Who else do we have? Is the filthy man himself, El Presidente, here? RBE8 is in the chat. Who else is in the chat, man? eFootball, Progression, 24, Spectres, good morning. Lucas! Lucas, you better not get me banned, man. That's all I'll say. Spangley, thank you for the 10 months, baby. 10 months, man. We're raising our child. He's a month old. We have to pick a name. Can we call the child Collar? That's all I want to know. What is up, lads? Say hello if you're in the chat, man. AZ as well. Welcome in, bro. Welcome in, brother. Happy 60th birthday, man. If it's not your birthday, happy birthday when you were 60, man. That's amazing. Wrap it up, bro. Welcome in as well. El Padrino, a very naughty guy. Welcome in. Omar, Adesina, AM1, Arvan, Gamer Boss, Vincent, Modernist Gamer. Who else is there? Oxy's in the chat. Wit, Order of the Assassins. Everybody's there. Nail Farfur. What's up, brother? What's up, man? So, yeah, this is what you talk about. Vincent as well. Welcome in, man. This is what I talk about, cutting the angle. So this is what a lot of people do. Instead of passing straight like that, where it's a straight pass, they'll be running in a straight line and then they'll cut the angle. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So the pass is still going to the player, but it's about cutting the angle so that you pass at an angled. Now, that works a lot of the time when you're passing straight or if you're passing at cutting an angle. Do you see the difference in there? It's just a different animation. It just kind of opens up the body. So what a lot of people will do is if they're running through on goal, instead of passing straight, they'll cut the angle and then pass through. And then it creates a gap. Now that is easier said than done if you're playing against a sweaty, player that is really intent on not letting you pass through him. And also if you're playing against Rijkaard or Vieira or any of that. But essentially that's one thing that I think that they'll look at in the future, right? So that's something that they look at. Also, another thing that we need to talk about, and we'll cover it, I'm going to be doing a big stream tomorrow, is the cutting. So this is another thing about cutting kind of like contact and cutting acceleration. Usually with the dribbling now at the moment, if you run in a straight line, right? If you're running in a straight line, it doesn't matter if you've got Mbappe or you've got Harry Maguire. Players will run pretty much the exact same speed in a straight line. Where the game kind of like uses the acceleration and pace now is in like change in direction. That's where the acceleration comes into. So you can see Grealish here. We're doing double touch, kind of like touch-ons here. And that's where the speed comes in. And also stop-start. So stop and start like that. You can see the power burst away. Like a lot of people will do this and then do that. And then they're gone away. So that's why if you see a lot of top-ranked players, if they're like in around the box like this and they do a double touch when there's no need to do a double touch, what they're doing is they're trying to break the angle. And you can see that the goalkeeper there, this is an example of the goalkeepers. The goalkeepers have set animations that they'll chase the ball down to you. Yo, Rockchalk, welcome in, brother. JD Gamer, welcome in. Jabberwacky, welcome in. Connor Void, welcome in. And Sri Ram, welcome in. All right, so we're going to go straight into it, man. That's just kind of to cover all our bases. Any questions you guys have, any suggested players that you guys have, we will do after the video, okay? So I want to get this video out of the way. We have a full, brand new squad here. And it's going to be something that, like, if you are looking at resetting the players are now reset. We have got a bench here where I'm going to go through pretty much every single type of player. If you are getting bogged down, right? If you're getting bogged down and thinking, oh, how do I train Bellingham? Bellingham's a box-to-box. How do I train Musa? Musa is a box-to-box. How do I train, Mbappe versus Lautaro Martinez? How do I train Rijkaard versus Vieira? What I will say to you is to simplify your knowledge of the game. This is a very simplified version of eFootball, man. This is not, you don't need to be a rocket scientist or over in NASA to figure out what works in this game. Where people get bogged down a lot of the time is that they overcomplicate it themselves. Whether they're watching somebody that's overcomplicating it, whether they're learning things that are overcomplicating it, and they're worried about somebody having stats that are like 85 in low pass compared to 87. And it's like, oh, if only I had 87 shooting or 85 low pass, that would have been a goal. Like, no, it wouldn't. The game at the moment is very animation driven. I've said this for a long time. If you can actually get your head around that the game is animation driven and you can learn to control the animations that click in and click out, that is when you will actually get success with the game. It's not about being a master with the reflexes, of a 16-year-old that's in his prime reflexes, like where you have to be unbelievable on the sticks, like you're learning combos in Street Fighter. It's very simplified, man. You put the best players that you play best with into a position that you can excel with them. So, for example, when I come up against people, man, and they're using Haaland, right? Even if they're a Division 1 or Division 2 player, they're using Haaland up front in a front 3 or a front 2 or a 4-2-4, whatever, it doesn't matter. And they're trying to, instead of pass the ball in aerially and trying to get Haaland to cross it and knock down and use him as a target man, they're trying to run and gun with him like Romario or Rummy. I know I've already beaten that guy. Do you know what I mean? I know that his knowledge of the game is showing up. And that's not saying it in a cocky way, but it's like similar with people. When you play a Division 2 or Division 1 guy, and you don't see him auto-cancelling or manual cancelling, you don't see him manually defending, you see him team pressing you the whole time. It's kind of like a psychological thing where it's like, okay, well, I know that this guy doesn't really understand what works in the game. Yeah, he could still beat me, but I know that I have the upper hand in terms of me knowing how to actually get the most out of it. So if one player isn't working, I can try a different tactic. Whereas he's probably going to beat me with plan A, and if plan A doesn't work, he's panicking. He's changing his formation, he's pressured, he's getting under pressure with scoring goals or defending. So I think a lot of people with this are about like simplifying what your gameplay, man. Simplifying your game. M10, welcome in, brother. Yeah, it's just a short stream, man. It's just a short stream. Now look, I'm going to focus on a few things, man. I'm going to focus on a few things. Reality check. What are you on about, bro? I do not have a 4-2-4 formation in my account. I don't know, can I do that, bro? I don't know, can I do that, man? To be honest with you. But what I'm going to do is, right? I have my team set up here. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to pick my squad. We're going to play the most popular formation. I'm going to record a video. And it'll be about 20 minutes where I'll cover everything. Where I'm literally just going to be recording a video as if I'm not streaming, okay? So I won't be interacting for about 20 minutes with the comments or anything like that. After I have that video done, you guys can watch. Any questions that you have, I will cover then for the purposes of the live stream and will show any player levelings you want. Any player I have here, I will show you. any player you request, I will show you. Recommended builds, recommended playing styles. I'll talk about everything that you guys want to talk about. But I know that we're going to get a lot of questions about this. And as I said, some of the stuff that I don't cover will be covered in the collaboration I'm doing with Alex, right? So me and Alex have done kind of like a line by line. So we did goalkeeper and defenders. It's going to be on Alex's channel. We did midfielders, going to be on mine. And then we're splitting the forwards because the forwards are the tip of the spear. They're the most important position. Two most important positions, in my opinion, is DMF and CF. They're the two most important positions. If you can master the players that you put in there, whether it's Rijkaard, Vieira, Rodri, Fabinho, whoever, and you have Romario, Mbappe, Lautaro Martinez, Neymar, whoever you have up there, if you can score with your centre forward and block with your DMF, you will probably win 75% more games just by doing that alone. At least 50% more games. So that's what I'm going to do. OC, welcome in, brother. Welcome in. We're also going to show you then. I have literally every single player that you could possibly want, apart from one or two omissions. I will show you after the video that we're doing. I will show you every single video that you guys want, man. Every single video that you want of any build that you have. We have Romy, we have Aldier, we have Honus. I'm going to be picking some of these players. So, right, I'm going to hit record and we're going to go from there. And also, on top of this, I'll explain the concept of it as well. So if you do join or you are in the comments and you're saying, oh, he's not reading his channel. As I said, I'll try and keep it short and sweet, but I want to cover all basics and retrain players. And I'll show you. I'll pick the squad first and then I'll retrain players because I have all these players here that I can actually retrain pretty easily. And you'll be surprised, man, as well. The amount of new people coming over to try eFootball is ridiculous, man. It's absolutely insane. So we're going to reset a few of these players here. Just so, well, we'll do it when we pick the squad. So I am, for the purposes of this videos, man, for this video, I am going to be playing the most popular formation, which is a 4-1-2-3. Now, this formation here, I'm going to use a split between, I'm going to have one winger and I'm going to have one SS. You can alter this, and I'll cover it in after the video. I'll cover it in the video as well, about having a double pivot, or else two wingers, or two SSs, or two CFs and one SS, okay? So I didn't get free Zico, man, because he wasn't available on European servers. So yeah, that's it, man. Collar's mother, she was in a wheelchair when she had him, after she had him, but it was worth it, man, for him to be in the squad. Honestly, it was. Okay? So let's go, man. Let's go. All right, so we're going to start by making a brand new squad, kind of like a squad builder type thing, where we talk about different players in different positions for different tactics, different play styles. I'm going to be using a 4-2-1-3, probably the most popular formation at the moment, with the most popular tactic. Now, this could change, obviously, with the new update, but I think that 90% of this information in this video is going to stay until we get eFootball 25. Couple of buffs, couple of nerfs. Obviously, that's going to happen with the passing, the speed. The defense, I think, will be toned down with the new update. But let's see. But the big decision you need to make in goals, if you are looking for a goalie, is whether you want a small, nimble goalkeeper with high jumping, such as Casillas. That's the first position to really kind of like check off, right? I'm not a big fan of like recommending goalkeepers and saying like, oh, you need to spin for Schmeichel, you need to do this, you need to do that. I think that if you're going to concede a goal, you're going to concede a goal. There's no one that's going to stop me scoring a goal with Romario 3 or 4 shots in a row if I get a chance or two at Romario, okay? So with Casillas there, because he's under 190 cm, we are going to maximize his jumping. So his jumping stat is going to be over 90 or as high as we possibly can get it. And also his reflexes are going to be as high as possible. If you are choosing a taller goalkeeper and you prefer somebody with like bigger shoulders, bigger arms, that you don't need jumping stats, but you also want him to be the biggest size physically in goals. Take Donnarumma, for instance, right? So where Donnarumma compares to Casillas, he's got 196 in centimeters. He's way taller than Casillas. And these are the decisions you need to make for goalkeepers. He's 11 centimeters taller than Casillas. So what we're going to do is we're just simply going to focus on his ability to actually... We don't need to focus on his jump. We're going to focus on just him being an absolute unit inside in goals. So reflexes is the number one. We'll get that to 88 straight off the rip. Parrying and reach, we're not too worried about parrying too much, but because we can get it up that high, we're going to leave it at that. Awareness is also the second one. So because this is the standard Donnarumma, you're going to run into problems straight away that you can't get all the stats up to 90. So you're going to have to pick your poison. So that's where it comes in with parrying and reach. I'm going to go 88 with the reach. We're going to leave the reflexes and we're going to put up the awareness. And then also you can just knock on one. That's going to give us kind of the best version of Donnarumma that we can get. I know his awareness is only 87, but there's nothing really that you can do about that because we do want the reflexes and the reach to be 90. Now you might ask, well, if you're talking about the height of Donnarumma, do you need his reach to be that high? That's when it comes into it, is that the type of goals that you're conceding. So for me, if I know that I'm going to be conceding goals and you want to go to goalkeeper awareness, you have to ask yourself the question, at what cost is it going to be to me with the points that I have left over if I just maximize his reflexes and his goalkeeper awareness, which is what he mostly wants, okay? Am I able to still get him with fairly high, decent reach? And they're the two builds very quickly of that. So that one is definitely going to be probably the one that most people go for with the awareness and the reflexes because he's so big, he doesn't need that extra reach compared to Casillas, who is going to be a little bit shorter, right? So Casillas has got better reach, better jumping, better awareness, or better reflexes, but he's not going to be as long. So a similar argument can be had all the way up the pitch when we talk about our DMFs. So the question I get asked the most is what partnership to have in your DMF and a double pivot or whatever you want to talk about. So if we have these two players here, Makelele and Rijkaard, they're both playing very, very different roles, even though they're both similar type of players in terms of their stats. Makelele is a destroyer, Rijkaard is going to be a DMF, but Rijkaard's main ability is not in his stats. It's in the fact that he's very long and he blocks everything. He's got serious, serious legs on him. He's like Margot Robbie on a night out. Unbelievable legs. And he's going to be so, I would say, right, that you're going to want the ball to come to Rijkaard rather than chase the ball. And with Makelele, you want to chase the ball and attack the ball and get the ball back. So Makelele is chasing the ball. Rijkaard is letting the ball, come to him. So that anytime it comes in within his vicinity, he's going to just be like a force field and block everything with legs going everywhere, man. It's going to be like a hen night out in Liverpool. Legs going everywhere. So Rijkaard and Makelele here in a double pivot are going to be complementing what each of them do well. And obviously there's no weakness in these guys' games. Now, if you talk about like standard players and you're saying, yeah, but I don't have Makelele, I want a double pivot, but I don't have Makelele. You take somebody like Musa, right? This guy's a box to box and he doesn't have that much defensive capabilities. He's more suited to an attacking midfielder. Or attacking centre midfielder. So this guy would not really work as well in the double pivot if you're looking to defend with him, if you're looking to have a double role where you have Rijkaard blocking, you have Makelele or whoever you have in this position where Musa is, chasing the ball and being a pest. So that is where you come into it with the training guides of players and how you build those players. So for example, Bellingham is a very good example of this. Musa and Bellingham are both box to box, but if you want to train Bellingham, you can train him very effectively as a defensive or an attacking. So straight off the rip, his dribbling type possession, low pass, and speed is pretty decent, okay? All of these stats here are pretty decent. But if you want to train him as a defensive option, you can actually do that quite well and still have points left over to chase. So all you want to do is pick a position, pick what you want from that player, and then be able to try and train a player that you don't need to rob too much out of his stats to turn him into something that he's not. Why waste, right? Like, as I said, why waste all these stats on Musa if you want to train Musa up? So number one, we're going to have his training guide. We need to train him up. That's fine. So if we train him up, we've got 32 levels to go. But why actually train him in? Because his tackling is only at 60, even though he's a box to box, and even though he has track back, and even though you can add blocker to him and you can turn him into a defensive option because his speed and acceleration are quite high, his stamina is really good. His defensive capabilities, even if you max everything out and put 20 into it, you're not even going to get close to Bellingham's. And that's with every single stat put into defense. You're not even going to match what Bellingham can achieve in his, just by barely tweaking Bellingham's defensive stats. Now we've popped only 10 into defending? So it's half the amount of progression that we've put in. If we want to even go higher with Bellingham, we can, but we don't really need to in that situation. And also on top of that, if you've got Ten Hag, you only always ever need to train up speed stat to 87 because you get the +3 boost with Ten Hag. So straight away, we now have a box-to-box that's a defensive option of Bellingham. that can slot in beside Rijkaard. He's not going to be on the God level tier of Makelele, but at the same time, you still have, a free player here. Like, it's very, very easy to train these players because the game is practically telling you, okay, we're giving you a Bellingham with a base stat of, let's say, 75 aggression, 78 aggression and 75 tackling. We're also giving you a free version of Musa. If you compare the two base versions of him, the game practically holds your hand and tells you how you should train him. So that is one example there if you are using a double pivot. With that, you want one to be able to chase the ball down and actually go and try and get the ball, and the other to be kind of like letting the ball come to him. Okay, that's basically what it is. Rijkaard obviously is going to be a spectacular player there to have, and any of these players that you have here, Makelele, Musa, all of these. Similarly, if you are training a player to be more attacking based, you can do that as well. And you can see here that even though he's a box to box, you will be able to train him up very, very, very effectively. So you can go to the 88 acceleration, you can go to the 90 with the speed as well. So that's going to be 90 acceleration, 90 speed. You don't need to worry too much about focus on that or focus on anything, man. It's defensively, if you just have a base aggression stat for chasing the ball, but I would not recommend you to use an attacking based player to disrupt the play and try and win the ball back. Do you know what I'm saying? There's no point, because why would you play Musa in this role when you can just use Bellingham? That are like, obviously, yeah, player update and stuff will come into it, or the live update, but there's always going to be a player that you can use that will not need as much training or not need as much guidance in these positions. And what we will do then is we will have one player that's going to be more kind of attack based if we've got certain setup back here, especially if you're playing in the lower divisions and you're learning the game. You can actually get away with having a deep line on Rijkaard here, and he's basically going to effectively play as another centre-back when you don't have the ball. So you can do that very, very easily. So that's just a quick tip on your midfield partnership if you are choosing to do that. Obviously, Makelele is going to have no weaknesses as a DMF. He's going to be incredible. If you've got any of these good players, man, you're going to be able to genuinely just dominate midfield. It doesn't matter what player you have. And also, don't get too bogged down in different players, right? Rijkaard, Vieira, any tall anchorman or player that you're going to be playing as a DMF, whether it's Casemiro, Fabinho, Rodri, any that are kind of fairly tall and fairly strong and fairly lengthy to be able to win ball back, they're going to all handle the same. So what you're going to do is you're going to have a template for how you train these cards. 85 speed and 90 plus in every defensive stats for players you want to win the ball back with and that are defenders. And then 85 plus in any player that you want to be on the ball with and you want to actually take the ball forward with. So we'll get into that from attacking midfielders on. Now to go to centre-backs, right? Centre-backs is kind of a continuation on of the points that we made, so I don't need to make it too long. Centre-backs, you've got a free Otamendi here that came as a nominating contract. Now, again, you can like use this guide and say, right, any destroyer in your team is essentially what we just described with Makelele. So everything that we said about Makelele, we are going to now apply that to Otamendi or whatever destroyer that we have back here. So the destroyer centre-back is going to be your aggressive. Think of probably, one of the most, best Premier League partnerships ever, right? Which was John Terry and Carvalho or Vidic and Ferdinand, right? Any formation that, or any team that you think about that have an unbelievable centre-back partnership that won loads with it, right? Sergio Ramos, the time when he was at Real Madrid, and different players that he would have played with, Centre-back, you have one that's going to be aggressive, that's a bit of a psycho, that's going to win the ball. That's usually your destroyer. The reason why for that is destroyers always have by default, even slow destroyers that are actually slow in real life, will always have speed above 75 or around that, if you want to go there. But the number one thing with destroyers that you want is the aggression to be as high as it possibly can, man. High as you possibly can. If you want this to be an aggressive type CB, you want the aggression to be as high as you possibly can. Now, some people will ask as well, can you play 2 destroyer CBs? I want to be aggressive as possible. Yes, you can, but I would always recommend to play a more passive CB beside him. So whether that is somebody like Marquinhos, who was a free reward for logging in for the Brazilian season or the Brazilian rewards, if you want to use somebody beside your destroyer, it's the similar point that we mentioned here. If you're talking about using a centre-back beside your anchorman. Similar point we made about Rijkaard. One, you want to be very, very passive. Not passive in that you can't win the ball back, but you will notice that a lot of the gameplays that you have, if you have a non-destroyer centre-back, they're usually the last line of defence. And also, the defence is very automated with these centre-backs. So build up, so you have Van Dijk, you have Marquinhos, you have any of these guys that you're seeing here, where basically the play style of this player, Marquinhos, is a build-up, is passive. It's not like activated to be aggressive. And what you're going to do when you're training these players is, as you get up the levels, and obviously if you have Puyol or you have Maldini or you have Aldair, there's going to be no weaknesses in these cards. But even as a free card here, you're going to notice the difference between the destroyer and the build-up. And mostly it is got to do with the speed. So for Marquinhos here, he goes against what he actually plays with. If I was training up Marquinhos, I'm probably going to train him up for a little less speed. But because we're playing him with a passive play style, it's not going to be that important to have his stats, the speed stat, as high. You know what I mean? Now, a better example is probably going to be Virgil van Dijk. So Van Dijk here has 76 speed, but every other defensive stat is going to be into the 90s. So what you're going to do here with Van Dijk is, you're saying, okay, he's 100 overall or he's 98 overall, that's fine, but I want him to be non-speed. Look at his acceleration. It's way below what it needs to be compared to even Otamendi's is 61. But if you take in the big destroyers, like I'm talking about the big endgame level destroyers, such as the likes of Aldair, who's an absolute rocket man, right? This guy has got 85 speed and every defense stat that you could possibly want past 90. So 95 aggression. Van Dijk's is 90 aggression. That's the big difference in the stats. So think of it like this, right? Up the line here in your two banks of two, for your four players here and your main central spine, use one aggressive CB, which is a destroyer. Use one more passive non-destroyer CB. Again, this is just my opinion. Some people will be exceptions to the rule where they'll be able to dominate with three centre backs playing in a three at the back formation, and they'll have three destroyers because they'll be able to manually defend and manually close off gaps. But for most people, as they make their way up to Division 3, 4, 5, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and they start to learn the game, they start to improve at the game, this is a very good launch pad, is to have like one passive defender that is going to be focused on pure defense, attacking or defensive awareness as high as you possibly can for your non-destroyer CB. And then for this guy here, your centre back, that's going to be a destroyer, you want that speed and you want his physicality and aggression to be a bit higher. Now, Aldair is kind of a catch-all. He does everything really, really well. But even if you look at the likes of the free Rudiger that they gave us, if I can find him here real quickly, maybe I'll go, here he is. If you look at the likes of Rudy here, Rudy's got 82 speed as a destroyer and 94 aggression. So his best two stats are going to be that. There, and also with the physical contact is going to be good. His defensive awareness isn't as high. His defensive engagement isn't as high. So they're very good players to compare there. You look at Van Dijk, your passive main defender. Think of Van Dijk as the one that's controlling the whole system. He's calling the shots at the back. He's the leader from your centre-back position. Rudiger is basically just point over there and cover that gap. Point over there and cover that gap. So Van Dijk is the general at the back, and Rudiger is going and chasing the ball. Same with Rijkaard being the general in midfield and telling Makelele and whoever's in midfield, attacking midfield, to do their job. So that's just very, very simplified. Obviously, there's a couple of nuances to it, but that is a very simplified way of talking about it. And especially you can see with the free cards that Konami do give you, we can't train Rudiger. We can't add anything to him. So what you see is what you get. You will notice that a lot of the destroyer centre-backs are extremely aggressive. Now, there is one other centre-back. Obviously, we have Bastoni as well there. If we wanted to get him in, the free Bastoni. Any of this information will apply to any of these cards. So, for example, if you have Bastoni, I'm not sure, did I go past him? Did I go past him? I thought he was like 95 overall. I can't see him, boys. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, man. I can't. Oh, there he is. So Bastoni, right, is going to be an extra front man. That's, again, another passive centre-back style. And you'll see that the speed and acceleration are kind of around that 75 mark. And then Tomiyasu is going to be your defensive fullback. So a lot of people will say, why not use Tomiyasu as your defensive fullback? Because he can play anywhere. I think he's better as a CB. Him and Araujo are probably the best two centre-backs in the game, apart from like the likes of Maldini and anyone that you prefer to use there. But this is another example of players that are not really as aggressive as destroyers. So destroyer, you want basically to chase the ball, the same as Makelele. And for your passive centre-backs, whether it's an extra frontman, whether it's a defensive fullback that's not going to activate, or whether it's a build-up such as Van Dijk, you are going to want basically them to be the main guys that defend the play. That's basically what it is, man. Basically what you want is your centre-backs to let the ball, the centre-backs with the highest defensive stats, you want the ball to come to them so that when your opponent is trying to pass through you, that you're going to be the last line in defence after your destroyer centre-back is beaten, unless you manually defend. Now, very simple. I spent a bit long on that, but very simple with our right backs and our left backs. I usually, if you're playing this formation, I usually play a right back or a left back that's going to be an attacking outlet. So such as Ferrer, who's a free card, we can train him up to be an attacking outlet here. Even though he's got some nice skills and we can train him very, very decently, most of the time with this guy, we're going to be building our attacks from the right back position if we're training him up this way. So for example, with this guy here, if we are using him as an attacking option, once you get the speed and the acceleration up, and also the fact that he can carry the ball a little bit, it's going to be nice. So if you get this player with even 75 type possession, then you can just pop in a few into defending as well, such as the aggression or anything like that. It's really not that big of a deal because all you're going to be doing is running with these players. So if you have a right back and a left back in this formation, you have two options. You can either use a centre back, such as Tommy Yashu, or a player that can play centre back and right back, such as Araujo, who's probably the best in the game. You can use them in a right back formation here, or else you can bring them in to have an extra CB. The meta has been for months and months and months to have 3 CB set up. That's basically what it is, right? But if you are using the traditional kind of 4 at the back, right, you can have one attacking right back or left back, and then you can have one defensive. Now, it depends on what players that you want to use. I've got a lot of good players that I don't really have a good defensive left back. Like, you will have different play styles. You will have Reinildo that's there. He's down as a defensive fullback. He's pretty decent. You have Theo Hernandez, who's a fullback finisher. Don't get too bogged down with the attacking finisher and fullback finisher and Carlos being an attacking fullback. But essentially all you want to do is have one defensive and one attacking. Whatever side you prefer to attack. If you like to roam up here and get a bit of possession and do a few overlaps and stuff like that, then choose it on the right flank. If you want to do it on the other flank, you can do something like that. And you can get maybe, Carlos in here or whoever that you have that's going to be leading the line. Effectively, what you want to do is you want to have your players that are carrying the ball forward, whether they're wingers, attacking midfielders, or your left or right back. You want them to have speed, acceleration, and you want them to be good on the ball. If you cross a lot, then you want him to be good at crossing. If you touch and go a lot, you want him to have one touch pass. But that is essentially how you set it up there. One defensive, one attacking. And that's kind of a rule of thumb. Now again, there's no bona fide, this is the ultimate 100% golden formation or whatever. That's going to be very dependent on how you actually set up your squad and very dependent on how you play. But that is how I would set up mine. So whoever I'm playing as my passive centre back, if I'm playing a destroyer here, right, and I have a passive centre back, I'm usually going to leave my passive centre back beside my attacking option. So Theo Hernandez, I don't want Bastoni going forward at all. I don't want him running out of position. I just want him to literally chill and be where he is at all times. Rudiger, Wan-Bissaka as a defender with his stats like this, Wan-Bissaka is going to cover, because he's so defensive and he's a defensive fullback, he's going to cover any gaps that Rudiger leaves so that I can manually mop up here if I want to. Okay? So that's kind of essentially what you do with the full back lines and the centre backs. Next up, we are going to move up the pitch to attacking midfielders, right? So one of my favourite attacking midfielders at the moment is Song Krasin. I think he's absolutely unbelievable. He's an amazing, amazing card. This is how we've trained him up. He was a free player that they gave. Unbelievable card. But essentially what you want to do is you just want the ball to be able to link to the 3 of these. Whether you have 3 centre forwards, such as 2 SS and a centre forward, 2 CFs and an SS, or you have 2 wide players, such as a left wing, right wing, and an attacking option, or 1 SS, a centre forward, and a left winger. It doesn't really matter. What you need from your attacking midfielders, from where the gameplay is at the moment, don't worry too much about play style. What I would focus on is if you are running, this is kind of like advice that gets you completely through a lot of opponents, right? Very simple, because we don't want to overcomplicate things. If you run with a player, so from this squad that I have built here, I am going to be running with one of the players here from Makelele, Rijkaard, Rudy, Bastoni, and Wan-Bissaka. The only player I'm going to be running with As in, if I get the ball with Makelele, Rijkaard, Rudiger, Bastoni, or Wan-Bissaka, 9 times out of 10, I'm just going to pass it forward into these areas. Right? If I get the ball with Hernandez, I'm gonna go up there. I'm gonna do a couple of overlaps. I'm gonna try link up with my winger. I'm gonna try and cover a few gaps if I get the ball taken off me. And I'm gonna try and link up with Songkrasen with a couple of splitters. Or I'm gonna spread the ball across to my right winger with a good left foot lofted pass or stunning pass. With Wan-Bissaka, Rudy, Bastoni, Makelele, and Rijkaard, I'm not gonna worry too much about that. So for any player that you run the ball with, including Songkrasen here, try and have acceleration, balance, and tight possession to be at least 90. Passing, low pass, ball control, dribbling, that can kind of be overridden a little bit or overrode a little bit with your playstyle and how good you are on the sticks. But if you have 90 acceleration, balance, and tight possession, it will hold your hand a lot when you're dribbling. And especially if you're able to get the ball to their feet in good areas, you will be able to do that very effectively. So usually what I would do is, any player that I'm running with, I want them to feel very slick on the ball, very versatile, very mobile, be able to pop in, drop off, run around the shoulder, manually take the ball in, be able to dribble, shoot, pass, everything. So if you've got an attacking midfielder that doesn't have 90 plus in tight possession, balance, and acceleration, do me a favor and just try an attacking midfielder that does. Don't worry about his low pass or his finishing. Don't worry about anything else. Just concentrate on that and concentrate on picking positions and getting into spaces that you can attack your opponent. Because what will naturally happen is if you're playing against a really good opponent, right, even if he's division, it doesn't matter what division they are, it doesn't matter what skill level they are, you will have 2 options to defend when you're attacking somebody or you're defending to somebody. Usually, somebody will run at you very aggressively. If that's the case, it's all about triangles. Little pass, touch and go, create gaps, create angles for running on to little tap-ins. Or else people will back off you. If you've got somebody that's backing off you, you can also switch it up with somebody like Bellingham and train your attacking midfielder with a little bit more finishing. So for example, with this Bellingham, if I'm playing him as my attacking option, I'm actually going to raise up his finishing a little bit, and I'm also going to raise up his dribbling, his low pass, everything. So now this Bellingham becomes a player that has a very, very, very simplified intent purpose. So for example here, if you have this Bellingham build here, finishing is 85, his acceleration is 80, and his balance is 88. You're not hitting those 90, 90, 90 with tight possession, but you're playing a different style of play. So if you are running gunning, somebody like Songkrasen is a beast. Every dribble stat, every balance, tight possession, acceleration, perfect. If you are being backed off and you're looking to create a little more gap for shooting, then you actually upgrade the passing and the shooting a little bit because it's a slower build-up. Now, that's going to be game by game. You always need plan B. I basically would always use a run and gun because it suits my playstyle. Maradona is kind of a similar position. Any of these guys that you have here with Maradona, you're going to be very, very easily able to train him up for a run and gun. So you just swap him out if you want to here, right? I need to train him up. But if you wanted to swap Maradona out, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing. People are going to defend you in one way unless they're exceptionally good players. I'm talking top maybe 1,000 in the game. They'll switch up their style of how they're training. But for somebody like Maradona, you can actually get his stats ridiculously high very, very easily. You know, your acceleration, your balance, everything else is going to be a bonus. So anything else that you get after this is going to be a bonus. 92 ball control, 92 dribbling, 94 tight possession, 90 acceleration, 93 balance. Everything else is a bonus. So if you want the finishing to be there, you can actually plow into the finishing. If you want the passing to be there, you can plow in the passing. So it all just depends on whether or not you want to have a player that is able to do one job or multiple jobs. I see a lot of people use players and they try oh, he's 100 overall, but I can't use him. And it's yeah, because you're using Maradona as your main goal scorer, which isn't going to work most of the time. That is why I would usually use Maradona in an SS role or else in an AMF role. But that is just kind of a key trick there. Also, when you're talking about skills, right? So for skills, I would always try and have one-touch pass. We don't have it on Maradona here, but I would always try and have one-touch pass on my attacking midfielders. So for Songkrasen here, if we're training him up, we would want one-touch pass on him. We have double touch. We have chip shot control, rising shot, and long-range shooting. I would probably put low lofted on him and one-touch pass. That goes without saying. One-touch pass is just a key skill for everybody. There's no player that you can put one-touch pass on that's going to be, bad, so to speak. So any of these players here that you have it doesn't really make a difference. And as you kind of get better players, a lot of them cards are going to have it just by default. Like, so for example, even if we use Musiala, right, who I absolutely butchered with his build, Lucas is always given out to me for giving him blocker, but this guy doesn't have one-touch pass, right? But he has first-time shot. He's more of a kind of a shooting attacking midfielder option, but he still has the balance, acceleration, and dribbling, and all those stats that we could possibly want. But I've actually given him weighted pass and acrobatic clearance and blocker, which I messed up on. So I don't recommend you guys do that. If you ever see me using that Musiala build, it's probably a little bit busted. But for most of the players that are kind of traditional attacking midfielders, such as Rui Costa, who's going to be a creative playmaker, this guy is also not going to have one-touch pass. So what Konami have started to do now for all of these cards, even with the new cards that we have got recently, a lot of them don't have one-touch pass off the rip. So for example, the older cards would have had it. If you were to play Pedri attacking midfield, a lot of the older cards have one-touch pass off the rip. So you can see there with Pedri. But for the new cards, such as Honus, who's down as an attacking midfield, with his stats there, Honus actually doesn't have one-touch pass, even though he's a whole player and he's down as a nearly, 100 overall as an attacking midfielder. So one-touch pass is very important. And also, what I would say as well is that if you are training a card and you don't shoot with the card, don't waste any progression points on shooting, man. I see people the whole time train up a build where they'll auto-allocate and they'll be like, oh, this guy is unbelievable. He's absolutely class. And it's like, right, okay, well, what rating is he? Okay, well, he goes to 101. But you don't score any goals in him because you never shoot. So there's no point having a card with 84 finishing if you're not going to shoot. When you could pop... Now, this is a bad example because he's only 5 into shooting. But for some cards that do have high finishing but you don't shoot, it's completely wasted. So that is kind of attacking midfielder covered, I would say. And all the backs and the rest of the CMFs and DMFs or whatever. The last one I'm going to cover is going to be outright wingers. Now, these are the most important positions in the game, in my opinion. You need to find a focal point that you're good at and be able to score goals with. So for me, with Mbappe is a goal poacher. We haven't really trained this guy, but this was one of the best free cards that they ever released. 91 speed, 94 acceleration, 91 balance, 90 tight possession, and 89 finishing. So with this card here, he's only going to be topped by somebody like the likes of Messi, right? If you've got the likes of Messi, there's no real weakness in his card as a deep line forward. Balance, physical contact, acceleration, dribbling, tight possession, and finishing. All absolutely perfect, man. Like, it depends on what card that you have. But even that free Mbappe is quite decent. I would also say that the likes of Forlan, any of those that are going to be target men are going to be really good. If you take a look at the new Rummy that released yesterday with this build that we have here, I have trained Rummy with 84 finishing, right? This is the build that I have for Rummy that we were testing yesterday. Now, Rummy has 6 matches played, 8 goals and 2 assists. We've given him no additional skills. He's literally just raw, right? We've given him nothing. It's vanilla ice cream at this moment, man. We've given him no chocolate sauce in it or nothing. It's literally just a run and gun centre forward. You might say like, oh, how can you train him with only 84 finishing? Because you can finish with 84 finishing strikers. If you get a chance, it's mostly one-on-ones. They've nerfed long-range shots. They've nerfed long-range curlers apart from blitz curlers. The game really does reward tap-ins. That's what it rewards, tap-ins and rebounds. So Rummy is at this going to be the tight possession, the balance, and the acceleration extremely high. Now, you can get his finishing up a little bit better than that if you want to. And the best build, the best card that I think is in the game at the moment is probably the Romario card, if you wanted to use it, or else Neymar. This free Neymar that they gave, everybody should have. Excellent stats with 90 finishing. Everything is in the 90s apart from tight possession. Balance, speed, acceleration, attacking awareness. The main stat with your centre forward is if you're using a run and gun. If he's fast, you don't need to worry as much about attacking awareness because he will still pick up the positions to get ahead of the defenders. He'll be offside the odd time, but the higher the attacking awareness or offensive awareness is, the better it's going to be. That's going to be what you want. So if you've got a slower player, you will notice that their attacking awareness is usually extremely high. So for Drogba, who's a target man or a goal poacher, 99 attacking awareness, but his acceleration and speed are under, 82. So for the likes of Romario or any of those guys like the ultimate, they're going to have different kind of builds. This is a Ronaldo card with 91 attacking awareness, with 90 acceleration, pretty decent. But if you take a look at like slower base players, even the likes of Haaland, right? Haaland, who is at a D at this rate, he'll have low acceleration, but 89 attacking awareness. So what you want to do is, if you are playing a target man or anyone that's taller than 185, they're going to have a different style of playing for run and gun compared to centre forwards that are just lanky and target men and players that are going to be able to knock the ball down for you. So what a lot of the time is that if you're using a tall player like this, you kind of have one purpose for him. Forlan is another excellent option here. Forlan is definitely one of the most slept on players, I think, in the game. Acceleration is 90, his attacking awareness is 90, finishing is 90, the tight possession and balance are perfect at 85. And we've scored a lot of goals with Forlan. 35 matches played, 26 goals and 9 assists. So he's got 35 goals and assists in 35 games, if my math is right. Yeah, it is, because I'm a mathematician. But even though if you want to take like a more extreme look at it, right? If you take a look at the likes of Collar is not going to have high speed or acceleration, but his attacking awareness is going to be insane. So what that means is all players kind of move the same speed when they don't have the ball. So Collar is going to be able to get into brilliant positions without having really high acceleration and speed stats. We don't be dribbling the ball with Collar. We're going to dribble the ball with our attacking options such as Romario or such as Maradona or any of those that we want to play in those positions. So for example, if you have Romario up there with Collar, that's going to be a double pivot then that you can use up front, or any of those players that you have. Rodrigo is another option who can play either left or right if he's on the wing, but he's kind of better suited as an attacking kind of option to score goals with as well. And, you know, your centre forward is always going to be your focal point. So even Stoichkov here, very nice stats, very nice skills, very nice everything. But there is going to be a big difference between using the likes of Baggio and the top class players at the moment. Look at Baggio's card, man. It's absolutely ridiculous. 85 speed, 96 acceleration, 100 balance, 97 ball control, 95 dribbling, 96 tight possession, and 90 finishing. I think Baggio is probably one of the most broken cards in the game at the moment. He's ridiculous. But that is essentially it. And then also for your wide options, if you are using an attacking left back or an attacking right back, I would usually double up on the side. So for this, I would probably do something like this so that I have an overload. I'll leave Rodrigo out here as my attacking out wide option because Wan-Bissaka is going to be defensive. And for Hernandez, who's going to be getting up this area here, I'm going to probably have an SS that can shoot. So Maradona is obviously a left footer. I want a right footer that's able to shoot. So for example, if we use Blitz Curler Son or Salah, it's going to depend on what way we have him. So for me, if I use Son here, we can use him as an SS that he's basically going to be shooting as well as a second option. So that is really what you need to consider. If you are using a centre forward, I would always recommend if you're using a double centre forward, right, and you're actually going to go back here a little bit and change your formation a little bit, or you're going to go like this, you can actually use two players up front like this where you have one big, one small, and then your two AMFs are going to slot into this position. So all that you're doing here is that you're complementing what Collar doesn't do too well, which is run the ball, and you're complementing what Son doesn't do well with Collar, which is to knock the ball down from long-range shots, knock-ons from corners, and just frustrate your opponent. You know, that's what you're going to be trying to do. So acrobatic finishing is a big one on this, heading on your attackers that are looking to get in the air, aerial superiority, and then as many shooting skills as you can possibly have. This Son is a fantastic player as well, but he has the Blitz Curler. So any of these players that you have here, any of these players that I have here, can do you wonders. Even the likes of Eric Cantona. Cantona has got deceptively quick acceleration, even though his attacking awareness isn't that high. Because the stats stacks, as you see here with Drogba, Drogba's a really good example. Drogba's actually got 81 acceleration, but only 70 balance and 77 tight possession. So don't run with Drogba, you're knocking it on. 100 heading, 100 physical contact, and 99 attacking awareness. The game is practically telling you how to play him. Whereas with Son, he's got the ball control, dribbling, tight possession, balance, speed, stamina, acceleration, and kicking power, and finishing all 85 plus or 84 plus. So yeah, that is it, boys. That is it for the video. Everything is kind of covered there. Skills, I think, you know, we'll cover that as much as we can. The skills, in my opinion, I don't think they're as important if you've got the right players in the right positions and you know what you're trying to do. So that is kind of my opinion on all of that. To be double dipping. I don't really rate having three CFs unless you're playing super meta like this. If you want to have 3 CFs or you want to have 2 CFs and a winger up here, I do recommend doing that if you are looking to get more wins. You've got your double pivots, you've got your protection at the back, you've got one defensive that can slot in here when Rudiger leaves a gap, and you've got your outlet to be able to bombard up there or to be able to swing the ball across up to your forwards. So yeah, that is it. And obviously as well, it goes without saying, I'm going to be doing this here, but the free reset is on until the 7th, which is tomorrow. This video will be going up live. It was part of the live stream. It's going to cost you this much until then. Free until now. from now until then. But yeah, make sure you do reset your players if you want to retrain them, or just leave them there and then retrain them later. But yeah, that is it, man. That is it. All right, boys, thanks for the patience, man. I'll get back with that. We did a 30-minute video there. So if anyone joined the stream and were like, what the hell, man? What the hell am I doing that I wasn't talking to you? I saw a couple of messages come in, so I'm going to go through all of these. Man. I probably left a few things out because the video was getting super long. But yeah, let me see all the comments. Laurent as well. Hi from France. Love your channel. Like your channel. Really instructive. And like Ireland's call song in a rugby match. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for the €10 gifted. GG's, man. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that, man. I haven't changed any of my builds. What I'm going to be doing is I'm actually going to be going back to my main squad now. And I'm going to take any questions that you guys have, any that I missed, get them back into me if I missed it. I'm going to refresh my chat here after I go through a few here. And we're going to retrain all our players, man, essentially with you guys live on stream. And we'll talk through what we're doing. That video that I did there is going to be going up on YouTube later. So if you missed the live stream, I will put that up later. And I think that all that information is going to be pretty okay for the next update. I don't think, personally, they're going to change too much of the gameplay tomorrow. I hope they do, but I don't think they're going to change it. Maybe 15%. So let me get through a few ones here. Good morning, says Matt. Good morning, brother. Yeah, I was recording a video, lads, so apologies, man. Apologies. Eris, I was recording a video, bro. I wasn't reading the chat. I had the chat turned off at the moment, so I'll probably need to refresh it. Barry, why did you say if you were playing at lower level on lower divs, you can get away with deep line on DMF? Please explain. Lucas, why did you say... Let me read that again. If you were playing at lower level or lower divisions, you can get away with deep line on DMF. I don't get what I said. Lucas, I'm just being stupid, man. Maybe it's just me. Ask me again. Did I say with deep line on your anchor man, is it? If you've got a deep line? I think I know what I said. I said that if you're playing with a destroyer centre back or two destroyer centre backs, and also if you're playing a little lower divisions, there is a bit of a... I think I know what I said, right? I think I know what I said. Let me just go through the messages and I'll return to that. MD2, welcome in, bro. Thank you, Ron, for keeping everybody in the chat, man, up to date with it. We were recording a video there, boys, so apologies. I know we'd like over 260 people watching me just ramble on there, but I couldn't see the chat because I had it turned off while we were recording that video. I will make the best GP squad, but I'm not going to do that. I've already done that multiple times, but I will do it when the new update comes because they're going to change some things. We created a team from scratch, yeah. We created a team from scratch, man. Dean, welcome in, bro. OC, we are going to be getting there is an update coming tomorrow as far as I know, but I don't know if it's just a content update and they're going to have a future one because they've announced nothing. And usually when they announce nothing, they literally just do the update first, the content first. But there is large maintenance tomorrow as far as I know. Do I have a Hullet build? I do have a Hullet build, but it's on the YouTube. I don't have Hullet in my squad, in this squad. No, Lucas, what I was saying with the DMF, man, is if you're using a deep line on your DMF, the DMF, there's kind of like this thing that top players know about deep line DMFs, and you probably know it as well, is that if you're using an anchorman, right, with deep line, there's like a gap that's created between your centre backs and your DMF when you don't have the ball. It's like a tiny little kind of gap that your DMF, I showed this in training mode, so the best way of explaining it, right? And as I said, you probably know this, man. You probably know this. The best way of explaining it is that, like, when a player has the ball, right, they will literally stay out of the player that has the ball's way to a fault. So, for example, if I just have the ball here at my attacking midfielder, right, watch where the position of the players pick up. So there's a little, like, it's like a bug. It's not really a bug, so to speak, but it is a tiny, tiny, tiny little thing you need to pay attention to if you use deep line on your DMF against, I'm talking now, Lucas, literally, man, I'm talking like top 500 in the world that know how to exploit that, right? And you can exploit it by using like double touch, knock on and shoot. There's a tiny gap that's created between your CBs and your DMF. But as I said, it's literally such a tiny thing that you don't need to really worry too much about it. I'm just saying it for newcomers that like they don't need to worry about that. But for people playing, because there's people in the chat that have, you know, never seen that before, where a gap is left. It's happened to me on stream before and I was like scratching my head. I was like, how does the opponent have so much space there? And then I actually realized. So what it is, right, is when you lose the ball, your DMF, if he's got deep line on, he will go back and literally pick up a position that your CB is in. So when that happens for that split second or for like a second or two, that your DMF, when you lose the ball, is occupying the same space as your CB will act absolute like stupid, man. So an example of this is if I don't move the pad here, right, and I just have the pad, my players will just continue the loop, the animation loop the whole time. So we've got Roberto Carlos on the overlap, and we've got our wide option out here, which is going to be Ribery. So Ribery's out wide, right? Now, if I actually leave this ball and I don't go near Ribery, if I just move here, when I turn to Ribery, Ribery will actually create an option for me. He'll put the hand out. When I go back, he'll put the hand down. When I go out, he'll put the hand down. Watch. See his hand? See his left hand? He's calling for the ball, and then he's saying, no, off you go, I don't want the ball. Same with here, with Makalele. He's calling for the ball when I'm facing him. When you're facing the player, the animation or the gameplay loop will continue on. Now, you look here in replay, right? Every time I turn here, he'll put the hand out, then he'll put the hand down. He'll put the hand out, he'll put the hand down. So if you go into replay and you talk about this, and as I said, you probably know this, Lucas. It was just probably the way I explained it, so apologies. But if you look at Ribery, watch him when I'm turning the ball here. Watch. When I'm facing him, he's the hand out. Watch. He's the hand out here. When I'm facing him. When I turn around, he puts the hand down. Turn back to him. What does he do? Puts the hand out. Watch. Turn away from him. Puts the hand down. Turn back to him. Puts the hand out. So he's just coded as a winger in that position in his little box. He's coded to say, right, give the option when you are facing the ball. Now, if I run into his vicinity, he'll run away. Look. He's like, it's like I've got a disease, man. Look. And I can herd him like cattle back the whole way, like I'm out in the farm, man, Collar Farm. I can herd him the whole way. Look, what this does is that, like, this is obviously a very unnatural example to give, but I can actually drive him off the pitch here. Because number one, he doesn't want to get into the vicinity of me. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to run. So Ribery's AI and his play style and everything is being overwritten. Now, you can see him trying to get back to position, but if I can literally steer him wherever I want to put him. So what happens is the same. When you lose the ball or the ball goes loose, your DMF will go back into position like this. So when the ball goes loose like this, or if I bring on opponents here, you'll see when I lose the ball. Watch Rijkaard here when you go from an attacking option to a defensive option. Now, again, this is a very, very, very extreme example of showing you how the game works and how the coding works. So if we get Rijkaard here and we now have opposition on the box, right? If I misplace a pass when I'm in an advanced position, right? Watch this. When I lose the ball here. Come on, take the ball off me. When I lose the ball here, watch Rijkaard. When he's just passive there, okay? Now he'll still go back. Now if I go into this, I go to tactics, and I have the deep line on Rijkaard. This says that the player will drop back to a position that allows him to join the defense with ease. This cannot be assigned to a DF. This cannot be assigned to a midfielder player either when playing 5 at the back. The reason why it can't be put when you've got a 5 at the back is because Rijkaard sits into this position here. So if you've got 5 CBs, or you're in that position, you'll see Rijkaard there go the whole way back. Look. When I lose the ball. Come on, lose the ball, man. My passing is too good. Now, you'll see Rijkaard here if I'm just chasing back. So watch where Rijkaard is. Look where he is, man. He's in line as the 5th CB there, right? Because I have him as a 5th CB. But if we move him out to a DMF and we were to bring in another CB, the same issue will happen that I'm showing here. So when you have the ball with somebody and you run into their vicinity, you can drive them off the pitch because they don't want to get in the way of the ball. Look, the AI behaves in a completely, like, ridiculous way, right? Now, you can call this bad coding, you can call this whatever. And it's like, why is Makalele running off to say hello to his mother in the crowd? And you can keep Makalele there if you just hold the ball out here, look. You can keep Makalele there. Like a bold boy, man, being getting in trouble. Look. Look. He's bouncing into the flag, man. And you can keep Makalele there the whole time. So that's what I was saying with that. If you're using deep line, you just have to be very, very like aware that the players won't run into each other's positions. So that's why you will see Rudiger make a lot of stupid, any destroyer that you have, you will see them do a lot of stupid things on the ball. Look at Makalele, man. He's chilling. He's chilling, man. Bouncing to the flag. So that's basically what it is that I was trying to say, Lucas. Surav, welcome in, bro. I think we're getting Alex, I think we're getting more maintenance tomorrow, bro. I could be wrong, man. Nimol, I have training guides for all those players up on the channel, man. All those players up on the channel. We're only doing training guides for players that we actually have here. Exactly, Lucas. Yeah, it's just that they don't. When you're not controlling the player, right? Such as Rijkaard here. If you're controlling Rijkaard, you can obviously dictate what he does with the ball, and he'll sit back into a deep position if you lose the ball. So you can see him here, right? And we can actually drive Rijkaard up the pitch. So what a lot of top players do is they will override the play style of the player. So Rijkaard here, if I want Rijkaard to move forward, right, I can drive him forward. Watch. So what they'll do is they'll run it with their CB, and then Rijkaard is in a very unnatural position where he'll either go off the pitch or he'll go up the pitch. And that's what a lot of the top players do. Now, if I lose the ball, watch Rijkaard's running to get back when I'm not even controlling him. And there he is in that defensive position. If you lose the ball up here on the pitch, watch Rijkaard again. So I'm going to be over here. I'm going to hold the possession. Now watch him when the ball comes into midfield with my centre backs. Look where he is. He's picking up the last striker because he can't pass it any further than the striker that's up. But listen, this is only such a small thing, man. Only a small thing. Training Schmeichel. I don't have Schmeichel either. Man. These are all the players that I have. Tuan, I don't use C3 at the back because I've used every formation known to man. Every formation. Right back and left back need man marking. Personally, no. And I'll tell you why. Again, this comes into it. If you're using man marking on your left back or right back, right, it will work up until a point. But if you're playing against a good opponent, they will spot that you're man marking and they will just switch to a sub tactic. So for example, I'll give you an example about that, right, Miguel? I'll give you an example with this. If my team is set up as this from the rip, and you man mark my Ribery or you man mark my Brahim Diaz, who are you going to be man marking him with? You're going to man mark Brahim Diaz with your left back. What happens when I switch to a sub tactic? Your left back is going to be picking up that position. Right there. Your left back is going to be picking up an unnatural position. It's the same with Ribery or Rummy. You can move Rummy out here or you can switch wings. You know what I'm saying? So straight away this has gone from your left back, man marking Brahim Diaz in a very natural position. He's staying in his left back position, but he's man marking. If I spot that and I switch to sub tactic, you're going to be in a world of pain because your left back is going to be coming in to your centre back space. And as I showed in training mode, when a player is too close to the other player, they will do anything it takes, even run off the pitch to get away from the other player because they don't want to be in the vicinity of the other player. Yeah, Lucas, I mean, I can't stress that enough, man, is that like, I would say, right, with this game, 90% of player builds and 90% of player builds and picking a position that suits you and picking a player that suits you. For example, Lucas, you might like Kvara instead of Ribery. You might like Maradona instead of Brahim Diaz. You might like Musiala instead of Honus. You might like Kante instead of Makelele. You might like Romario over Rummy. You might like Vieira over Rijkaard. That's all a personal thing. You know what I mean? It's a personal thing. Like, all these players can get you to Division 1 and can dominate for you because they're so high. But if you are bringing in personal into it, that's when the game takes on a stamp of its own for you. Because for me here, if I'm playing the likes of Collar up front here, I can't play Collar like I would Romario or Rummy. So my whole game plan has to change. Ribery has to become a crosser and a finisher. Brahim Diaz has to become a crosser and a finisher. Honus has to have a bigger role. Because my focal point doesn't become Collar. Collar becomes my additional supporting player. You know? Most of the way that if you take a look at the top rank, and I'm talking about the top guys at the moment. Now listen, when we put our head to it, man, if we have enough time for next rank, we will push for top rank in this, right? Because we have, at the moment, gone up the rankings a little bit. But most of the top guys that are playing, right, they will have a very, very, very streamlined type of play style. And the reason for that is to maximize their chance conversion when they get a chance created. That's essentially what it is. So Costa Curta, Maldini, Aldair, and Tomiyasu. You've also got a double pivot of Rijkaard and Vieira for the world number 1 bot at the moment. Tomiyasu, Costa Curta, Maldini, and Aldair can all play CB, right? He's not too worried about destroyers because Rijkaard is basically going to be playing as a very deep DMF. He's going to defend with 5 players and he's going to attack with 5 players. Or else defend with 6 if he's playing against a really good opponent and attack with 4. But you have to understand that these guys are also so good at the game that all they need is 1 or 2 chances a game and they'll score them 100% of the time. So, yeah, listen, man, I always say if you have a player, it's like Zamorano versus Collar Lucas. I genuinely think that Collar is a much better player than Zamorano because the ultimate goal of Collar for me in the squad is to be a nuisance, to be brilliant in the air, and to create or score goals, which he does. If I'm going to be playing a more run and gun style player, I would prefer to use Romario, Rummy, Mbappe, any of those guys, even Neymar up front, over Zamorano. That's not to say that Zamorano isn't an absolute beast. Forlan is another example. I'd prefer Collar over Forlan, even though Forlan is a way better player than Collar. Like, Collar is a tier 3 player, no matter how you shape it up. And I know we have the banter with him and all that, but he is. Forlan is probably, you know, up a bit. Zamorano is up into the A tier, maybe B tier. Depends how you play him. But it's the same with Kvaradona and Ribery. You love Kvara. Ron loves the cube. You know what I mean? Ron loves the cube, man. So it's all about personal thing. But I do think that 75 to 80% of setting your team up right, if you look, you just, listen, man, how do you improve at something? Whether it's business, whether it's anything, right? You don't have to be the best at everything. You ever hear that famous story, man, about Richard Branson, man? Like, Richard Branson, like, is basically, has a brilliant quote out where, like, he's essentially, like, dyslexic. He actually is really bad with numbers and stuff. And the guy is a multi-billionaire. And he had a brilliant quote out before, I think, if I remember correctly, where he was saying, like, that, or maybe it was Steve Jobs, actually. I think it was Steve Jobs, where he said that, like, he was never the best at everything. He was the best at certain things. But what he wasn't good at, he got other better people in to do a job. And that's the same for every walk of life, man. But in eFootball, that is essentially what you do. You get the best players in the best position and let them do the best role that they can. Look at this formation here, where you've got a formation that's basically a 4-2-4. Now, I would say that sub-tactics are probably coming into this. I would say that Hullet is probably going AMF, and he's playing a 4-3-3. That would be my opinion. With a sub-tactic, Hullet is probably dropping to a CMF. Or else Ribery is playing as an AMF and Vieira is sitting into the pocket. But again, you've got that same 3 CB with another right back that can play CB. Courtois and goals. So it's very, very, very easy, man. It's very, very easy to see any of these players that you have here. And that's where personal choice comes into it. For me, if I'm using Collar, you're not going to spot the top 500 or even top 1,000 players in the game using Collar. You'll see Shevchenko, you'll see Romario, you'll see Rummy, you'll see Mbappe, you'll see Eto'o, you'll see Neymar, you'll see Messi, you'll see Forlan, you'll see all of these guys. But again, it's all about how you play, man. And I think people do get a little bit kind of... I mean, when somebody slags Collar, man, I get a little bit annoyed, you know, because they're like, yeah, you just aren't playing to his purposes, you know? Like, I saw a guy message me the other day and he was like, oh, you know, you were saying that this player was A tier or S tier, and it's like, oh, he scored like 500 goals for me. And it's like, well done, congratulations, brilliant, man. I'm proud of you for scoring 500 goals with a player. But you can score as many goals as you possibly want with any player if you play towards their strengths. You know, this is a video game, man. It's not that deep. You know, you don't need to force your opinion across. But you know what it is what it is, man. Helio with the $10 gifted. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, bro. Best trainer ever. Will Konami release more offline modes, offline teams, and unlock balls in offline modes? 3 full years. It's ridiculous, man. As I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, man. Just because I play this game and I stream this game and I enjoy interacting with you guys and I love the crack, it doesn't mean that I'm not critical about the game, either privately or publicly. If I'm asked privately for feedback, I give it to them straight between the eyes, man. Because at the end of the day, criticism, if you learn to take criticism, that is when you grow. And it's like with me. If you want to see something better on my videos, if you think something could be improved, you give it to me between the eyes, man. Once you're respectful and you're not disrespectful, calling me an Irish potato or anything like that. But if it's constructive, it's brilliant. We can have disagreements, man. Some of my best friends on the community, I can have disagreements with. You know what I mean? It's all about that. But Helio, to get back to your point, bro, yeah, it needs upgrades, man. It needs to change. Everything needs to change with the game and the actual system. It just does, man. And do I think that they'll unlock some more stuff? I'll answer your question with a question. What would you do if you were Konami, man? With the amount of hype and the amount of money they're making from Dream Team releasing cards. I guarantee you, and I'll just leave you with this, right? Do you think, and I'll ask the chat this, feel free to lay in, man. Feel free to lay in with this. Give your GGs to Helio as well as for the $10. Or not lay in, weigh in with this. Feel free to weigh in, right? Do you think Konami would make more money in the morning? Hypothetically speaking, do you think Konami would make more money in the morning if they released a fully featured best ever Master League experience or career mode experience? Excellent transfers, online leagues that you could play with your friends, and you could create custom cups, custom tournaments, everything. Do you think they'd make more money on that? Or do you think they'd make more money if they released R9, Zidane and Thierry Henry in a triple pack? Leave you with that, and I'll ask you then whether you think they'll add stuff. I do think that with eFootball 2025, that's going to be the big boost for offline stuff. If they're going to do in a career mode. But it will be, I think, monetized. I think they'll find some way of monetizing Master League or career mode or something like that. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, man. Zamorano is a fraud. Who said that, man? Who said that Zamorano is a fraud? Zamorano is God tier. Wezza, what's up, brother? What's up, man? I think it was Steve Jobs. ABD and Lucas. Lucas, don't take that slander off ABD, man. He's calling Zamorano a fraud. Counter target at the moment is difficult, yeah. But listen, I can go into any of these players, man. Leva, absolutely insane player. Absolutely ridiculous player, man. Really, really good. You can see the streamline there again. Playing 4 CBs. Again. Ashad, thank you for the £10 gifted. Boys, you're legends, man. You're legends. Thank you so much, bro. Shoop, we will be streaming early tomorrow. Give your GGs to Helio, lads, for the $10 gifted. And Helio, to answer your question, man, yeah, I do feel like that now, eFootball 2025, I hope I'm wrong. I hope they add a big update tomorrow, and then a bigger update in a month or two's time, and then they release a roadmap. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that they do. But I think eFootball 2025 is when this game is going to be judged as a proper Unreal Engine style release. Whether we get that at launch of eFootball 2025 or it's a continuation of what we've been getting. But the cards at the moment, man, are so popular. They're super popular, man. I will show you the Epic Cruyff builder, yeah. And Ashad, thank you for the £10 as well. Give your GGs to Ashad, lads. The donos are absolutely insane, man. I appreciate it a lot. I enjoy your content a lot. I used to play PES a long time ago. I'm playing eFootball for the first time and learned a lot from you. Can you tell me how to activate sub-tactic during the game? How to activate sub-tactic, bro, is essentially hold down on the D-pad until you see it pop up. That's what she said. No, you just hold down on the D-pad, bro. That's all you do, man. That's all you do. You hold down on the D-pad until it pops up on screen. So when you're in game and you've actually entered into the match here, collars up front, you hold down on the D-pad, you will see the little thing in the bottom left corner above collars name tag change from attacking to defensive. They are your two set tactics. How to actually go into it is go into tactics in the main menu here, go into sub-tactic and use sub-tactic on. That means you can have a different play style, different individual instructions, and different positions that you can manually switch. So for example, if you want to switch from a 4 flat at the back to a 3, you can do that with sub-tactics. If you want to switch from a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-1-3 with your main formation, that's what you're going to start with. When you hold down on the D-pad and use your sub-tactic, that's what you're going to morph into. That's what it's going to become. Okay? So you just hold down on the D-pad, bro, and thank you for the dono, man. So attacking is one and defensive is the other. That is your 2 sub-tactics, okay? All right, let's show you a Cruyff build. I'm going to train all players now, lads. I'm just catching up with the booster here, man. ABD. Well, thank you, bro. Lads, I'm humbled by the support, bro. Honestly, man, I'm humbled by the support. It's crazy. Lads, I honestly never thought when we started streaming, man, that there would be 230 people watching me talk about the game in the stream. It's ridiculous, man. Just a little Irish boy, man, like me, you know? But yeah, it's been banter, man. And again, we're going to have a big stream tomorrow. I have a couple of things planned. And we'll get into kind of building a few players. All right. Any players you want me to see build, I'm going to build. We will start. Give your GGs to ABD, lads. Thanks for humbling Shack Attack the other day on stream. Lucas is very happy. Ron, you're getting it on both barrels, man. You're getting it on both barrels. Listen, we had to just humble Ron a little bit because he's comparing Shack Attack to... Listen, Shack Attack would not pick Collar's nose. Number one, he wouldn't have the strength to get through the crusty stuff in Collar's nose because Collar is so strong. And also, he wouldn't be able to reach him. You know, so it's a tale of two cities, man. Tara, they'll make more money with cards, but if they make a Master League DLC with edit mode and with booster classic Master League players, they can also use a Dream Team. They'd make good coins as well. They would, bro. They would. If they monetize Master League, they'll make serious money out of it. You know? Lou, it's unreal, man. I mean, it's amazing. Honestly, it's still very humbling, man, that people even watch the stream, let alone actually chill out with me for like an hour and a half just chatting. So tomorrow is going to be a very interesting one, man. We're going to have a really good stream tomorrow. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's mad. Lucas. I feel they will monetize it on mobile and PC and console be like PES. I think what they'll do, personally speaking, I think they'll find some way of... Yeah, I think they'll find some way of having the season refresh come the whole way. Like what they kind of did with PES 21 and the season update. I think that's what they'll do. All right, for the Cruyff build, lads, this is what we're going to do, man. Any other players you want to see in? Now, I'm going to be resetting most of my players, boys, because I want to retrain the players tomorrow based on the gameplay. So if you haven't done this already, we're going to do it now. I'm going to reset most of my starting 11 here. And then I'm going to see what they change in the gameplay tomorrow. I personally, because we've heard nothing, I don't think we'll get gameplay changes tomorrow. If we do, it'll probably be like tiny changes. But I do think we will get news on when the next gameplay patch will come. Now, I think they will change a few things. But yeah, that's just, that's just kind of what I think. Now, in saying that, the last day as well, they never mentioned that with the last patch that we had, they never mentioned that we were getting any gameplay changes. But in the last couple of weeks, I definitely feel that the passing has even gotten worse. That they've kind of dumbed down the passing even more. And I think the reason for that is because they're probably tweaking things in line with the next big update that they're going to be doing. Whether that comes tomorrow, whether it comes in a month, whether it comes in May, I don't know. But I don't know, will we get like a full-blown patch notes tomorrow? They might say like, yeah, we've tweaked this, to improve the experience. We've cut the grass to make the passes better. I don't know, man. They might do something like that. They might tweak certain things. But I don't think that they'll make massive changes tomorrow because they haven't announced anything. Now, obviously it wouldn't be unusual if they do. And I will be streaming early tomorrow to cover everything. We're going to be testing out everything. But what I want to do is I want to retrain all my starting 11. I'm not going to retrain every player. Because tomorrow when we launch up the game, once we've the content hit kind of covered and everything that's new, I am pretty much going to just play maybe 4 or 5 matches live on stream, straight up with my usual players. So that's why I'm not going to retrain everybody, but I want to see what the game plays like without changing anything with my other kind of play style. I'm going to still play long ball counter. I'm going to still play with Ten Hag. I'm going to still play with this formation. I'm not going to change anything. And I'm going to see how the game flows after 5 or 6 games. Shaqiri last day, bro. We embarrassed Ron on stream, man. Ron was making excuses. He was blowing me up with excuses, you know. But Ron, it's okay, man. We still love you, bro. We still love you. You know. But we'll do a couple of subscriber challenges again because they were funny, man. Yo, Javier, what's up, bro? Barry, please won't match again with Ron. I will sponsor memberships at a charity event. Call it a charity. Oh, no, we will. We will play Ron. We will play Ron, man. Amarak, what's up, brother? We can play Ron tomorrow, man. Helio with the other $2 gifted. Helio, thank you, brother. I love you too, man. I love you too. Just charge 900 coins for Master League. I think they could charge more, man. What I had heard months ago was that Master League was going to be a DLC. It was going to be an add-on DLC, you know? So that is what I think that they will probably do eventually. If they bring out a Master League for 25 quid and they had maybe 3 special players, like what Terra said, let's just say that they have 3 special players in Master League that you can sign. And it's 25 quid and you have them at launch with your Master League and you're also able to use them on Dream Team. 3 special players, whether it's like a young Messi, a young Ronaldo, or it's like an old school Master League team like a Stolo or any of those. I think that would sell, man. Because people like new stuff. People like collecting cards. Barry, do you think Konami will release a Season 5 video tomorrow? Yeah, I think they will, OC. Yeah, I think they will, bro. I think they will. Unless something has changed, I think that they will announce what they're going to be doing. Because the season is up. Listen, right? All of these stuff are going to be gone tomorrow. Look, all of this stuff is going to be gone. So the special player list, obviously the Bayern Munich Pack, the Legends is going to be ongoing. But this league selection, this league selection, this league selection, and this league selection are going to be all gone. Okay? Golden Boys are going to be gone. And also the Liga BBVA is going to be gone. These 3 here, the English League selection, the Spanish League selection, and the Italian League selection, they have another week. So that's going to be tomorrow week where they're actually gone. On top of that, we're also going to have the packs here, right? This is gone in 12 hours because it's going to be the last season. And then the match pass is going to be refreshed as well. Right? The match pass is going to be refreshed. So this is going to be gone on the 7th, which is tomorrow. The eFootball League phase is going to be gone tomorrow as well. As far as I know. Am I right or am I wrong? That's going to be gone. So the 7th and the 3rd. That's going to be gone after maintenance tomorrow. And then last but not least, we also have in the shop, the eFootball Points shop, we also have the players that are going to be gone. So Asalani is 7 days, but Jovic is 12 hours and Gareth Barry is 12 hours. So after tomorrow, these are going to be the only 2 players left, Aslani and Bebeto. And Aslani is going to be gone next week. So I reckon that they will have, you know, the new season one, man. The new season one. Terra, I have news for you, brother. A lot of people don't know who Castolo even is, man. That's the thing. You know, a lot of people don't know who Castolo even is. Because he was an older player that a lot of people probably wouldn't have spun for. You don't have to reset all the players, but the reason why I reset all the players is because when there's an update, I'll always reset my players. And I don't know if they're going to prolong the reset any longer than tomorrow. It's up tomorrow. So that's going to be gone as well. Yeah, there's lots of cards in the database that they've added. They still have cards in the database that they haven't added. I had a video on it. I'm not too sure if you guys seen it. Maybe I don't have it anymore. I don't have it here, man. But it's up on my channel where I talk about it. And I talk about the new stuff that's still coming. Like, for example, we still have Stevie G to come. We still have Scholesy, Mertesacker. There's a couple of other legends that are still in the database. I reckon tomorrow they're going to add a lot of new legends, man. We've all seen the rumors of Ronaldo. We've all seen the clickbait of Zidane. I was talking to a guy yesterday, man, and he said, like, Zidane is coming tomorrow 100%. And it's just clickbait, man, you know? Unless they surprise us, but I don't think so, you know? And Konami aren't going to come out and say it. Like, essentially what you do with a lot of the player packs and a lot of the concept packs is you're throwing as many stuff as you can off the wall and seeing what sticks. And that's it. You know, so people in the know or pretending that they're in the know usually never get called out when they're actually proven to be wrong, you know? So it is what it is, man. Yeah, it's going to be the resetting of the division, lads. That's what it's going to be. They should make rewards for different modes so they intertwine and make people grind all modes. Yeah, that's a good point. There's nothing to grind at the moment, man. There's nothing to grind. Absolutely nothing to grind. You know? There's more grinding going on in an old folks home, man, in a retirement home, than there is in this game at the moment. There's nothing to grind. You can go on and play for 2 hours and you'll have all the events done on a Monday or a Thursday. Oh, man, I swear to God, man, if R9 comes, it'll be just for the pure hype alone. Like, I don't think that they'll make an R9 card. There is something in the database that's like, it's an extra booster. It's like a different booster, right? It's like a kind of a grey booster. That's been in the database for a while. And there's also rumors as well that you'll be able to train boosters onto cards. So, for example, you'll be able to like get a booster as a reward and you'll be able to give it to a player. So, for example, all of these older players that I have here, these are the players that I would have got way back when. These are the players. These are my first ever players. So the likes of Romario. I have 559 games played with Romario. So I would be able to give him a booster. And I'd be able to make him my ultimate kind of booster player. Just give him a contract and give him booster. Or any of these cards. Even cards that are kind of like gone now. Such as PK or any of those. Right? I'd be able to give them the booster there. So, like, it wouldn't matter, like, what position or what player that they have. You'd just be able to give them the booster very, very easily. And that would be nice, man. I think it would be nice anyway. Any of these cards here, man. Haaland, any of these. Showtime Haaland, you'd be able to give him a booster. So, instead of his balance being what it is there, you'd be able to train the stat. I think that's where they need to go with the game, to be honest. Champions League nominating contract might come tomorrow. They usually release the UCL. Yeah, they probably will. And also, the Euros is on this year as well, isn't it? The daily game challenge will probably reset. Yeah, they'll probably add more stuff to it. I had heard that they were going to be adding more mini games to this, but that's gone quiet now at the moment. See, what's happening at the moment, I think, with Konami is everything is kind of... The cards are so successful, man, that they're putting a lot of effort into bringing out the cards. Now, that will tide people over, the newcomers. But for people that have been here since launch, now it's time to put... Listen, if forgetting about health issues or forgetting about getting sick, if we could eat chocolate every day for every meal, some people would do it. If you could eat McDonald's every day without it being, or, you know, eat pizza every day for every meal, you could do it. And not get sick or not get fat. You could do it, okay? But you do need sometimes a little bit of variety, and you need sometimes a little bit of mixing it up a little, you know? That's kind of where it is, man. And that's why I think at the moment that if they do reset... Oh, I went out of it, sorry. If they do reset this daily game, they need to switch it up a little. Yeah, I think they'll bring back old legends in the shop as well. Now, there's still a Ronaldinho card in the game that was meant to come for free. So this, at the moment, we have completed... What's the most laps you've completed on this, boys? Because I was away for a week in Switzerland, and I was away for a week... when I was doing the commentary stuff, where I wasn't able to sign in every day. Or was that then? Was it with work? I don't know, but I missed maybe about 10 days logging in, I'd say, in total. And I'm on lap 12, just about to finish, go on to lap 13, or go on to lap 14, finish that. Oh man, Zlatan. Jesus, man, Zlatan would be an unbelievable card, Lucas. He would be an unbelievable card. But all of these cards that I have here, like these old school cards, any of these cards would be nice. And we don't have Zlatan on this account, but I think I have him on my other account. One thing that they were thinking of doing as well, or that I think would be a cool idea, would be if they were to put it in that you could transfer in, right? If you go into my league at the moment, look at this. All the stuff is already in the game. This is the thing that frustrates me. If you go into my league here, right, you can actually sign these players on loan. Now, these players here that you can sign on loan are players that were out before or that you can't get anymore. So Victor, this guy is a very rare card, Victor Baye. You've got this Diaby here. This card here, the Roman flank Diaby with 99 acceleration, 95 balance. You've also got all of these cards that you see here. Andy Cole is there. McTominay, right midfielder, is there. All of these. And that refreshes every so often. Mason Mount. This is a very rare card. Not many people got these cards, man. Victor Boye and Mason Mount. Yeah, I haven't got it, man. I haven't got it in a while. I haven't played my league in a while. Lap 16 is possible, yeah. As OC says there, lap 16 is possible. Halfway through 16, lap 14, lap 16. I feel like the Euro content will be good. Zidane and the Original would be the only players I would spend real money for. Yeah, I'd be the same at Roy Keane, man. If Roy Keane was in the pack of 1,000, I'd go for it. I just say to the missus, out. No present for Christmas or no present for anything. Just get me PSN codes. Simple. My birthday, nothing. I would just have to go for it, man. I don't know will they add Platini, man. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of packs in the game. There is a lot of packs in the game. They still have to release as well. Let me just show you something here. If I can. They still have to release all of these, man. Lads, if you are new here and you're enjoying the stream as well, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to like the stream as well. We've 259 people in the chat and only 110 likes. It's free to like it. It massively helps out the channel. So be a legend. Give it a little thumbs up, and we will be having a big stream tomorrow as well. Let me just see if I can get this up, man. That's what she said, though. So I would appreciate you guys liking it, man. It's cost nothing. And even subscribing as well, boys. We're trying to grow the channel, man. We're trying to grow and try and basically do as much as we can on the channel. As many times as we can. If that means me grinding, not sleeping, I'll do it, man. I'll do it for as long as I'm possibly able. All right. So looking at these cards here, right, let's just give a quick brief overview of some of these, man, right? Which of these cards haven't they released from these legends? Just this list of legends. Which of these have they still to release? Roberto Carlos, Stevie G, and Scholesy. Them three haven't released yet, have they? Cordoba is another one. And Stojkovic and Belletti. They haven't released yet, have they? Lucas, if you haven't gotten Cobbleman, but you've got Costa Curta, Ronaldo, Maradona, yeah, you don't need to worry about getting Cobble. Player skills to Cannavaro, bro. I mean, if you're using Cannavaro, you just need to have the defensive skills that you need for any defensive centre back is aerial superiority, heading, slide tackle, blocker, interception, acrobatic clearance. Any of those, man. Any of those. One touch pass if you can do it. My meeting went very well yesterday, Ron. Thank God, man. It went very well. It went very well. Monday. I think if R9 is coming, yeah, that's a good point, Pizza Boy. Cambiaso's pretty decent, man. The problem with Cambiaso in the game is that he's fighting for a position that Rijkaard and Vieira dominate. Yeah, Lucas, they've taken players off the database, man, before. And they'll probably continue to take players off. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot, bro. Materazzi's not released yet. Who else do we have on this list? Cordoba, Belletti, Mertesacker. There's also a Manchester United pack in here. That's the same as this Inter Milan pack. The rest of the players have all now been released, man. The rest of the players have all been released, I think. Apart from Lamps. Or was Lampard released? I think Lampard will come with Stevie. Lampard will come with Stevie G and Scholesy, I assume. But there's also a lot of different players in the game, man, that they've added. Like Tara was talking earlier about some of the legends that they've added. Oh, look at these ads, man. Get off my screen. This has no asset at the moment. It's just the card. It's just the placeholder of the card there. So for any of these cards that you see here, let me hide my face cam, man. They're going to be one. Lambert was released. Okay, yeah. I forget, man. I forgot. Like, there's also players in there that they haven't released yet that have been in there for a long time. So, Matthaus... Has Matthaus had a new card, lads, or am I tripping? Has this Matthaus been released, man? Or is it this one I'm thinking of? It's this one I'm thinking of. Well, the way it works is with the database is that they don't upload the assets until the card is coming out soon. So they're probably a good bit away. But there's lots of cards, man. There's lots of cards that you can kind of talk about. You know? And there's lots of cards that people will probably spin for. Materazzi was in as well. He's down as a booster. Build up. Not a great card, to be honest. But with 24 levels, it's not bad. With defending. You can get in pretty much everything without the booster. Speed is going to be an issue, though. Yeah, I reckon that there's going to be a lot of cards, man. There is. And I'll tell you why. Because people are actually spinning for cards, you know? People are spinning for cards. This is eFootball DB, man. But to be honest with you, man, I've asked the guys at eFootball DB they don't have the manager booster on this, and they don't have the boosters activated on this. So it's literally just the progression points and the player stats. Like, it's a really nice website to use. I use it like all the time. But yeah, the booster and the manager boost needs to come. Like, I've asked for that for the last couple of weeks, man. So yeah, hopefully they can get it sorted, man, and fix a couple of the bits and pieces here. Yeah, Owen has a card as well, that Michael Owen. I'm not too sure which version of him, but I think it's this one. So there's lots of cards that still have to come, man. You know? Lots of cards still have to come. And I think that the reason for the cards coming is they're probably going to tie, in my opinion, they're probably going to tie a lot of the Season 5 stuff into actual cards that are going to be coming. All right, I'm going to just train Cruyff here because people were asking about this. Cruyff, if I'm using Cruyff, I'm going to use him probably as an SS because his passing is quite bad. I was using him as a whole player, but again, people will overcomplicate this and they'll go in, right? If you want to go in and you want to check out what all the cards do, man, go into help, go into general information, go down here to the end and go to playstyles. This playstyles will tell you exactly what every playstyle does in the game, man. So if you go into the playstyles here of the players, there's also a very debatable compatible position type thing. Now, I think that they'll remove this soon, because if you go into a whole player here, a whole player is only compatible in right mid, left mid, AMF, or SS. It's not compatible in right wing or left wing. So that's why I'd always play a whole player, either AMF or SS. Helio, thank you again, bro. Thank you again. Listen, man, that's what we're trying to do, man. We're trying to... Listen, look, I mean, I tried to keep it 100 on the channel, man. I have no ego about anything. I have no, qualms about complaining about the game to the right people and getting the information there. Like I want to be able to, use the platform to improve the game because I actually care about the game, man. I care about what this game could become because I've dedicated pretty much since I'm 15. I've dedicated the last 15, 16 years across different things, you know, communities, building option files, all that sort of stuff. In the last 2 or 3 years, I've gone back to my content creation roots. The support has been unbelievable. But I still treat this as I want this game to improve because I know all of us watching here today, we want this game to get better and it has potential, man. You know, if there was another football game out there that was better than eFootball, if FIFA was just miles away ahead of this, Like, loyalty only gets you so far in terms of how you spend your time. Like, we all only have a limited time to spend playing games or doing content. I'm very blessed that you guys like watching me do content. But my main goal here is to create a community that is full of crack, full of fun, doesn't take the game too seriously and be toxic, but also wants the game to be the best that it can be. You know what I mean? And that's what I personally want, man, because I want the game to be the best that it can be. I want to enjoy my streams as much as I possibly can. When things frustrate me, I call it out. When things are terrible, I call it out. And I'll do that both publicly and privately. And that's what it needs to be, man. You need to be... Listen, if you can criticize somebody and they're able to take it, that is a huge sign of respect, in my opinion. If you say something to somebody and they're not able... Listen, man, people will show you their true colors if you like talk to them or hang out with them long enough in every aspect of life. It's the same with game development, man. Konami are making savage money at the moment with the cards, right? But just because they're making savage money with the cards, they still need to be able to create a product that is like a catch-all, that like satisfies as many people's wants as possible. Now they don't have to do that, but that's what I want them to do. You know what I mean? I'm happy to play this game for the time I play it and enjoy playing it. I enjoy the crack with you guys, I enjoy the crack with Collar. But like, I want more, man. I want more all the time. The passing is atrocious. The defensive AI is atrocious. It's too hand-holdy. It's too easy to pick up the game and play it. Like, there has to be a skill gap to determine quality. That's what it needs to be. I'm not saying everyone needs to sit down and learn 100 hours of tutorials to be even able to pass the ball. It needs to be pick up and play because it's a football game. It's all-inclusive. That's the way it should be. But there needs to be a discernible difference between being good at the game and being unbelievable at the game. You know what I mean? Like the same in every game, man. That's the way it needs to be. That's what it needs to grow. And if you go on and look at Warzone the way it is at the moment, the top ranked guys in Warzone are playing at such a high level that it breeds that competitiveness. In eFootball at the moment, the only thing that you need to do to get up the rank in eFootball is to play the game and be average at it and just play 40 hours a week. Is that a controversial take? Is that me shitting on people? No, it's not. That's truly what I believe, man. The more time you spend playing this game, the more people you're going to run into in matchmaking, because the matchmaking is busted. The more people you're going to run into that you're just going to be able to absolutely destroy. You'll come up maybe 1 or 2 games out of 10. You'll come up against a guy that'll give you a good game. Yeah, of course you will. But that's the way it is, man. Aldair build, man. Aldair build is here. Baxter, the thing with team filters, brother, I hope you're good, by the way, man. I'm expecting no real gameplay changes tomorrow, Baxter. Unless they announce them tomorrow, I think they'll change a couple of bits and pieces. The passing needs to change, man. The passing needs to change. The biggest thing needs to change at the moment is passing. My biggest fear tomorrow, man, is like, I'm playing at a level now that I haven't played at in ages, that like, I'm pretty much controlling most games and like winning 80% of my matches. I'll know tomorrow very, very, very quickly, and we'll all know. We'll know tomorrow whether they've changed things. I think the next big update that they're going to show, they're going to really ramp up what they're trying to do with it. Whether that's passing, dribbling, or whatever, man. But yeah, Baxter, to get back to your point, bro, the one reason why they mightn't bring in team filters outside of like a cup or events or competitions, I don't think they'll bring filters into the Dream Team League divisions. I've said before what they should do. If Konami were very smart, what they should do is, on this list here, instead of events, eFootball League, and that's it, they should have events, eFootball League, and eFootball League ranked, okay? Or eFootball League ranked, eFootball League, and events, or whatever we want to call it. Have a separate tier that you go into when you're in Division 1. So that all Division 1 players that want to play competitively, like with Warzone at the moment, they have Rebirth Resurgence, that's like public games, that's less sweaty, and then they have ranked, where it costs you to actually enter the game. So I would like to see a button here in Division 1 that if you're choosing to play at an esports level and you want to be at that level and you want to be playing against guys that are at that level, you should have an entry point that you need to put in. So you need to put in 50,000 GP, or you need to put in 10 points just for entering the match. If you win the match, you get your 10 points back, you get your 10 rating back, plus you get your added points that you win or added rating that you win when you win the match. They had this in old PES games as well. They had your matches per week, and then you could go into competitions 3 times a week. It was like MLO Open or MLO World Competition or whatever it was called. That's what they need to do, man. Yeah, I think the passes are all determined by the runs the AI make. That's what it is. Yeah, interception is a big one as well, man. Interception is a big one. I've just used Pass Assist 2 for ages, Blue Machine. Yeah, we'll show the Cruyff build, man. If I'm using Cruyff, I'm using him as an SS because his whole player is active, and I'm using him as kind of like a backup. I'll probably use him with over here as an SS. If I use him as a left winger, I don't need to. I'll use Ribery as my right option here. So with this Cruyff, I'm not going to worry too much about his finishing. I'm going to get his shooting up as high as I possibly can. With this build here, you're going to have to go very heavy with the. You're going to have to go very heavy with the dribbling. So 7 into dribbling. I think it's 6 into into dexterity. That's going to get. Oh no, sorry, 2 more into dexterity. So that's going to give you right there 4 more into shooting. That's going to give you 90. Ball control, 93. Dribbling, 93. Tight possession, 90. Finishing, 90. Set piece, 92. Curl. And of course, 91 acceleration and balance. After that, you can probably just put the rest into speed, man, if you wanted to. Can you get 6 into speed? Yes, you can very easily. And still have 1 more into dribbling. You can do that if you want. Or else you can go the passing route. You don't need to pass with Cruyff. Honestly, you don't need to pass too much with Cruyff. We've double touch on him. We've long range curler. He already has 1 touch pass, weighted pass, and low loft to pass off the rip. Now, people will say, is he better off using him as an AMF? I potentially would probably say, yes, he's better to use him as an AMF and just kind of like balance him a little bit better because you don't need speed and you don't need any of that stuff. So this is what I would go here with the finishing. He's not going to get any boost to his finishing, but 80 is more than enough for the chances that you're going to be creating. Now, remember, we're using him as an AMF here. Passing, I would probably go with 78 to get the boost to 80. Maybe I'll go a little bit higher with that ball control and, of course, with the balance. His boosters here are a bit of a concern because he's obviously getting the booster to dribble in a tight possession, but he's not getting it to passing. So if I'm using him as an AMF here, and I'm using Honus or I'm using Ribery, wherever, and I take off Honus and I'm using Blitz Curler Salah over here, or I'm using Ribery as my winger and Blitz Curler Salah here, it doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to be shooting with Salah. If I'm using Cruyff here, the only thing that I'm really focused on now is getting his passing up a little bit more. Do I have enough to go 10 into passing? I don't. I can't get 10 into passing, so I can't get his low pass over 85. I'm not going to bother, man, wasting my stats doing that. So what I would probably do with this card is I would probably improve his kicking power or else his dribbling. And because we can get his shooting up or anything like that, I can go with this. With the finishing at 85 and the dribbling or the dexterity at the rest. That's what I would probably go with there. There. That's what I would do, man, I would say. You know? Players to stop hiding from a pass ball. Yeah, that's a movement issue. That's a movement issue. The players made better runs in PES 2021. No, I don't think that they did. I think that the AI is better than than PES 2021. Watch this. Now that you said that, lads. Watch this. Give me 2 seconds. I need to show you something. Watch this, man. Because you guys sometimes, and I do as well, I'm working on a video at the moment, and I want to show you this. If we can see it. Watch this, man, and let me know what you guys think. And I want your honest opinions, if I can find this here. I'm just gonna mute the video, okay? Watch this game. Watch this here, man. Right? Now, this is PES 2021, right? This is PES 2021. Let me just get this screen centered. One second now, boys. Now, we're not in PES 2021, man. Now, watch this, man. This is a video from PES 2021, our last ever game of PES 2021, right? and watch. We had to just play a normal match. Look, number one, first thing that we notice, look at his formation, man. Now, bear in mind that this was probably the last day the server was up. Look at my team that I have on the left, and look at his team. I need to fix this, man, but it's not... there we go. There we go. All right, watch this. Look at his team, man, and look how narrow he's playing. That meta was still there. That 4-3-1-2. I was playing a 3-2-3-2. Look at my formation, man. It's crazy. Right? Now, when you go on this game here and you look at PES 2021, watch the movement, man. Watch the movement of the players. Look how static it is, man. Look how static it is. Look at the goals that I concede in this game. And look at the movement of the players. Like, it was way different, man. The movement of the players was very different, man. And like the passing, like all the similar issues that you had in eFootball 2024 are kind of like based on this. Now you can still score good goals and all that sort of stuff. There was no problem with that. But the passing and the movement and the collisions and the staticness was there in PES 2021. Like again, look at the passing here. Look at this for defending. When you like, it's very similar, man. But it still had the same interception-based things. You know? This is PES 2021, lads. And I'm showing you this PES 2021 gameplay from one of my last ever games. But like, look at the breakdown of the game, right? When we switch on from this. Look at the breakdown of the game and the goals that you're conceding. Look at this. Look at it, like. Watch this for a pass. Look at my movement of my players. Look, so static in midfield. Yeah, the grass looks good. Look at the movement there, man, of my centre backs. Honestly. Now, this had a lot of different stuff going for it, obviously, because you had the trigger runs and all that. But I'm trying to get back here. Look at Beckenbauer's movement here. Look at this. Look how flat I am at the back. No anticipation, and he pops it in. Same with this goal here. Ball to Van Dijk. True ball. Touch to Mbappe. Touch again. Caught square. This was basically how every goal was conceded in PES 2021. And what I think that they've done now is they've cut out that gap in the middle of the pitch. Look at the movement there at Beckenbauer. I'm trying to manually control him, and the ball just goes past me. Look. So what they've done now, in my opinion, is they've ramped up the interceptions. That you stick legs out and stuff. Because that wasn't part of PES 2021 so much. PES 2021 was such a different style of game. I think co-op in PES 2021 was outrageously good. And I mean outrageously good. The co-op. Because the game was built for that. Because it was just slow enough that you could actually play proper co-op. Co-op in this is carnage. There's literally no, like, build-up. It's literally just interception, interception, interception. But anyway, that is the Cruyff build that we had there. Do you want to see any other build, lads? The season update, I don't know what we're getting tomorrow, man. That's what we're meant to be getting, the season update tomorrow. Soundtrack was better. The animations were better. The celebration were better. PES 21 was shy. Played for a couple of months, then binned. I never played PES 2021 1v1. I think I played like 100 matches. Yeah, well, that's it, Ron. That's what happens, man. Lofted true balls in PES 2021 were OP. Little dink up over the CBs. That's Cruyff's build there, boys. Salah is going to be different. This Rodri is going to be the same. Every version of Rodri is the same. All you need to do is train up his defense. His tackling, his aggression needs to be high. He's down as an anchorman, so you don't need to worry too much about speed. As I said in the earlier part of the video, any anchorman that you have, such as Rijkaard, you need to max out their defensive awareness, their engagement, and just have him blocker and the long legs. That's what it needs to be. Let me plug in my pad, man. I've already done Cruyff. No, I wouldn't recommend Cruyff for left wing, man. There's no point. If you want Cruyff for left wing, this build will do you. Aldair. We can do Aldair. I have Simmons as well, yeah. Aldair is quite decent as well. This Aldair card is pretty decent. That's how I trained Aldair. But if I was training him now, I would probably train him like this. Look, it's very simple. If you have a CB that's a destroyer, I've already explained it, but if you've missed the part where I was talking about that, all you need from your destroyer centre back, either it's Aldair or it's Maldini. All you need from your destroyer centre back is aggression, tackling, and speed. That's all you need. You don't need to complicate it any more than that. The game will automatically track with this. So if you have defending stat and you get his aggression, even if you just look at getting the aggression up to 95, right? That's automatically going to train up the rest of his stats. And then you just focus on speed. Now, some people will question dexterity as well. I don't pay much heed to it, that much. But that's the build that we go with there with Aldair. It's a very simple build. Because he's not going to be winning that many balls in the air anyway. Gilded Garf. We'll see if R9 comes tomorrow, man. We'll see. We'll see. But just remember that a lot of those players have been in the database. Their commentary has been in the database for a long time. Pizza Boy. Actually, the opposite, man. Physical contact. It's not the physical contact stat anymore. It's balance and tight possession. Jumping, you don't need jumping, man. Because if you're using Aldair, most people don't play. If you look at the top, if you look at it, 50 squads, very few of them will play a target man up front. You don't need jumping once you have one. Van Dijk is the aerial threat there. The aerial stopper. Yeah, Brahim Diaz is a beast. I think physical contact. Hi, what is the best training for Alaba? Well, Alaba, any version of Alaba will do you, man. Any version of Alaba. Like, don't get too bogged down in different versions of different cards, unless they have a different playstyle. If you're using Alaba here, any of these versions of Alaba will do. So if I have, say, this version of Alaba, which is a CB standard, it's going to be the same training as any of these cards. Alaba is down as a build-up. So all you need to do with this build-up card here, this was one of my actual favourite cards, man, to train. I'm wasting so many contract renewals just to show you this. But any of these cards that you have here, if you're using him as a build-up, I think it's wasted. But if you're using him as a left back, he's going to be pretty beastly. So you can actually have his progression quite nice with this. So for, again, you're going to try and max out what you want to do from him. If you're playing him as an attacking kind of option left back, or you're playing him as a centre back. Say you're playing him as a centre back instead of Van Dijk, and you're coming up against somebody that's playing Romario, Mbappe, and Lautaro Martinez up front. You don't need height as much, so you can actually make a couple of concessions there. So we can put Alaba as the RCB, right? And what we're going to do with this build-up is we're going to focus not so much on his speed and acceleration, because we're training him a bit different. We're actually going to focus on his defensive awareness and his engagement. So once we pop 12 into that, and we get that to 80 with Ten Hag, we don't need to worry too much about the rest. Because look, 92 awareness, 88 tackling, 88 aggression, 90 defensive engagement. You know? We don't need to do it. Well, Pizza Boy, what player are you using that has physical contact? I'm not saying it doesn't work for you, man. But if you're talking about attacking players, it's legit not physical contact. And I can prove it if you want. But as I said, man, opinions are always warranted and always respected here on this channel, man. But they have changed the physical contact. It's if you're running with a player, you will notice that usually the players that you're probably... Like, just tell me a player that you're talking about that the physical contact and let me know. I don't need shooting. I don't need passing. Dribbling I don't need, but we can get that. I'm going to be playing out a little bit. Dexterity, I can get that up a bit, or else lower body. So I can actually maximize his defensive capabilities here more if I want to. We can get them even higher. And we can pop 4 or 5 into his lower body and his aerial strength. So this is a phenomenal card, man, if you think about it as a standard GP card, as a CB. 81 speed, 80 stamina, 82 jump. And then, of course, 95, 91, 91, 93. Oh, Pizza Boy, yeah, as physical contact as a defense, yeah. Yeah, but not as an attacking. Attacking is balance and tight possession, man. Physical contact, most players, when you train up their physical contact, they will have it. Such as example with Maldini here. If you're training Maldini, you don't need to go higher as a destroyer. You don't need to go higher than this with his destroyer build. You've got all his stats, aggression at 90. And what you want to do then is once you get that, you want to be able to get his speed to be about 85, which Ten Hag is easy to do that. Now we can go a little bit higher with the aerial strength. So we can get his physical contact up quite high there. So now we have 89 jumping and 86 physical contact. So that's going to naturally make him kind of, off the ball physical contact is really, really powerful for defenders if you're winning the ball back. But on the ball, if you're running Romario, Mbappe, any of those, they don't need physical contact. Before, when this Messi came out, who remembers the glory days? When this Messi came out. Look at Messi's stats. This stats here. Look at his full stats, man. 96 balance and 90 physical contact with 103 tight possession. And he's been nerfed into the ground, man. Absolutely nerfed into the ground, in my opinion. But yeah, when you do start to train up your defenders that are destroyers, they're naturally going to have their physical contact high anyway. You can get all his defensive stats. This is why Maldini is so good, man. You can get all of these stats in to the 90. Look. Physical contact, one more. This is why Maldini is so good, man. Because he has everything possible that you could possibly want. Look. 93, 94, 90, 94, and then 85 speed, 94 jumping, 90 physical contact, and then 91 heading. And then you add to that, heading as an additional stat, acrobatic clearance, aerial superiority, fighting spirit, interception, blocker. Ridiculous card, man. Ridiculous. And only kind of topped, I think, by Aldair. If you look at Aldair, they're both destroyers. Aldair has got way worse, he's smaller than him. He's got way worse heading than him. Jumping, way worse jumping than him. Physicality, way worse than him. But then the rest of his stats is really, really high. So you don't need to go that high with that. But as I said, lads, just to show you, right? Just to show you, go in and look at any of the top players and pick a random player from the top 100 and go into it and look at the strike force that they're using. They're not using big players, man. They're not using big players, the majority of them, right? Michael Owen, Cruyff, Messi, all short, nimble, versatile strikers. You're not going to concede headers against those. We go into another team just at random. Tess. Rafael Leao, Mbappe, Messi. Need I go on? Need I go on? Any player that you go into, you might see the odd one that'll use Haaland or somebody like that. Eto'o, Mbappe, Messi. Again, all on the ground attacks. Will I continue? That's why physical contact and aerial ability, you don't need to worry. Here's Lewandowski. That's one player that we've seen here, which is a rarity from Dorian. Another one. Now this could change in anticipation for the new one. Mbappe, Neymar, Salah. All small players. Not small, but you know what I'm saying to you. You know what I'm saying to you is that they're not going to be aerial battles that you need to win. So that's why Drogba and Romario, that's a perfect one. That looks like a team I would use there. Lovely team. But that's why always you have in your game plan one that's able to be good in the air and one that's able to mop up. Groundskeeper Willie. And that's why I would always play with a passive. If you want to play Aldair as a destroyer, you could play somebody like Van Dijk that can win a lot of aerial battles and train up Van Dijk's aerial ability. And also, look at Van Dijk's from level 1. Look at his physical contact. I haven't got Costa Corta yet, Ollie, across 4 profiles. Lucas, Barry, he hasn't. When running or dribbling, just slightly 10% hold and release the L2 and see the magic of physical contact. Yeah, but Lucas, I genuinely, man, never see people use matchup or hold off. Very, very rarely, unless you're coming up against, again, it's that point again, you're splitting hairs between the top 500, top 1,000 in the game, or else somebody that hasn't, maybe doesn't have a high ranking, but has an unbelievable knowledge of the game, such as you. most people won't play that way. It's because it's too slow. It slows down their play, you know? Most people play pop, 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 pass, and then try and get a shot off. Now, in saying that, like, this Messi is unbelievable, man. This Messi is unbelievable. But I still think that Romario is there. And listen, I have a clip. I can show you a clip here, right? Of my point, if I can find it. Or maybe I've deleted it now. I'm trying to find this clip that I have. Because I've got lots of clips here, man, that I can show. No, it's not that one. It's not that one either. It's probably from a few days ago, man. It's probably from a few days ago. Nah. It's basically when you're running like beside a player, I had like the physical contact, in my opinion. No, I won't be able to find the clip, man. I won't be able to find the clip. I know I won't. Unless it's this one. Is this it? Yeah, this is actually it. Look at this, man, here. Look at this, Lucas. Look at this, what I'm saying, man. You see here? Watch Del Piero, watch Baggio. Watch Baggio brush off. Look. By right, I shouldn't have got that ball past Pirlo there, man. You see what I'm saying here? Yeah, he's still a beast, Terry. Yeah, he is still a beast. But watch this clip here. And like, you see when the two players come together here. Watch. Now, obviously, this is just, you know, one example. But look. Do you see when Pirlo, the collision system in the game is a little bit like crazy sometimes? But watch Baggio bounce off Pirlo. Look, he takes the challenge. He actually rides the challenge quite well there. Look. See here? See where he kind of like cuts in? Now, if you go back and you look at Baggio, and you look at his actual stats, right? Baggio's physical contact is really low, man. But his balance and his tight possession is insane. So that's why I think that, like, they have switched it a bit. Abdullah! Thank you, bro, for the $20, man. You guys are crazy today, man. Give your GGs to Abdullah, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. We will continue doing some free training here. No, Lucas, I'm not saying that you're talking crap, man, at all. Lucas, you're very horny today, man. You're looking for a fight with me today, I think. I'm not saying that you're wrong, man. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. But what I'm saying to you is that for the rare occasion that you will come together with a player where you use L2, a lot of the time what happens now is because the player ID of the players, when you have the ball, is more got to do with tight possession or balance. Physical contact is obviously a massive like advantage to have, such as Rafael Leao. Like Rafael Leao, because of his physical contact, he just bounces off people because he's got 80 physical contact. But you saw with Baggio there, when I had Baggio trained up, even if you train Baggio's stats up proper for physical contact, he actually only goes to 76 or 80. Yeah, 78 max. Give your GGs to Abdullah, lads. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much, bro. Hopefully R9, my best striker ever, comes to eFootball because he's the only one I will spin for deep-wise. Wish that they don't did him dirty as Adriano, though. Big fan of your contact. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you so much, bro. So yeah, it's all about, I think as well, animation-driven stuff, you know? It's like how you can score bangers with your... I scored a banger with Bergomi the last day, man. And Bergomi only has like what? 59 finishing, and we scored an unbelievable goal with him. But no, you are right, Lucas, with L2, man. If you're holding L2, you can ride the challenges and you can shoulder people off the ball. I struggle against guys that do a lot of that hold-up play. But I don't see people do that often. Honestly, I don't see people do that too often, man. But yeah, it is a facet of the game. I think my jump button is broken. I have never won a header, defender, attack in our second ball in opposition. I don't know, John, bro. I understand the boosted Puyol is a really good card, but sometimes the gameplay can be seen. Yeah, the gameplay, see lads, the gameplay drives a lot of the stuff. By right, Pirlo should have come in and absolutely taken that ball off Baggio there. But instead, I actually won it, man. Instead, I actually won the ball and I got a goal. And that made me win the game, really. What to do with GP Lautaro? Free Ronaldo and GP Lautaro. I'm not even sure if I have Lautaro, but we'll do him first and then we'll do Ronaldo. This Lautaro Martinez here, all you need to do is train him the same way as you would train any of these cards, man. Acceleration, balance, and tight possession. Look. I'm wasting all my XP training players that I'm never going to use for you. My issue is that Konami don't do a good job explaining the small things and small tips in gameplay. This game has depth. Oh, it does, Lucas, but the problem is, man, the problem is that most people don't need to play at a depth because what works is the simple stuff. Most top players, like top players, I would say out of the top 100 in the game at the moment, if you were to ask them to fill out a questionnaire and ask them, do they pass first or do they play possession and dribble? Most of them get rid of the ball as soon as they get it so that your defenders can't set. And you know that and I know that, man. As I said with all of these strikers, man, depending on how good you are, all you need for a lot of these strikers is tight possession, acceleration, and balance. That's all you need. You don't need to worry too much about speed. So that is the build I would go for there if you wanted Lautaro Martinez. When you bring him into your squad, you're going to have the boost of 90 to acceleration. AB Roma, thank you for the $5 gifted, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you so much. €5 gifted. When can we get a tutorial about passing? I am working on a tutorial about passing, but one tip I will give you before I bring it out is that if you are learning to pass properly and you don't want to be intercepted as heavily, I would say focus on cutting the angle. So I covered that and I can show you again, man. I can show you this again in training mode, right? What I talk about cutting the angle, you will see a lot of players that are like, you mightn't even notice what they're doing. But the next time you're losing to get a really good guy in Dream Team, look at what he's doing when he's passing the ball. So what I mean by cutting the angle is that if you're playing a match and you have a player that's running in a straight line, which is mostly how you run. Most players run in straight lines. You know what I mean? It's very rare because the game is so fast and interceptions are so frequent. Most players don't run like this. They run in straight lines when they're passing the ball. So for example, if I have Honus here or I have Rijkaard and I'm passing the ball forward, I will focus on passing. There's lots of different passing. There's simple pass, there's stunning pass. You know, there's a lot of different stuff that you can do to let balls through your legs and stuff like that. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. But essentially what you want to do is, instead of passing straight into Neymar on a straight line, because your defenders are going to be there, what you're doing is, instead of a pass straight line, you're cutting the angle. Do you see that, what I did there? So instead of passing straight like that, you're cutting the angle and passing kind of side foot. Again, I'll show you here and then we'll bring on defenders. So Neymar is up there. Say that them two defenders are there, Cruyff. If I pass straight, he's going to intercept it. Look. But if I cut the angle, then you're talking about creating a little bit of a gap. The interceptions are a huge issue with the game. They're still a massive issue with the game. So you are, no matter what you do, no matter if you're rank 1 in the world or you've just downloaded the game today, you're going to get your chances intercepted. You're going to get balls intercepted. There's no doubt about it, man. But if we bring on 11 defenders here, right? If we bring on 11 defenders here, I'll show you. I'll get back to Blitz, Curler, Salah and Son then, boys. I'm just showing AB this. We will work on a passing guide. I have a lot of stuff to bring out, lads. I have a passing tutorial. I have a dribbling tutorial. I have literally got dozens of clips to show you. So what I'm talking about again is when you get into position, such as this with Rijkaard, right? Instead of passing in a straight line like that, now that works, that's blocked. Look, instead of passing like that, you're passing at an angle. Now that's easier said than done when you're under pressure. So instead of passing at a direct angle like this, or in a straight line, you're cutting the angle. Do you see what I mean? So not a straight line, you're cutting the angle. Does that make sense? It's a simple thing, but it works. So instead of passing, basically what you're trying to do is, right, if you're looking to pass to Dixon, a lot of people will turn to Dixon and pass to him. Like this. I want to pass to Aldair, so they'll turn. Instead of doing something like this, look. Do you see what I'm saying there? It's called cutting the angle. So instead of cutting into Rijkaard and passing to him square, you're passing to Rijkaard like that. Same as here. Straight, angle. Look. Straight across or angle. You're cutting at the end, at the last second, if that makes sense. That's one key tip that I've learned. Now, it's easier said than done with that, because the AI in training mode are going to be less aggressive. Like, they'll let you do whatever you want to do. But essentially, all you're doing is creating angles the whole time. So instead of passing straight into a danger area or passing straight where it can be intercepted, look, you're cutting an angle all the time. And the AI will actually do this. So again, I'm running forward here. I'm running forward. I'm running straight. And then I'm going to cut the angle. See? Do you see that pass there with the side foot pass? That's basically what I'm talking about, man. Fortress, no, in fairness, Royal Striker, I don't think Fortress does anything, bro. Do you guys see what I'm trying to explain there? Maybe I'm not explaining it the best way, but do you see what I mean there with cutting the angle? So Cruyff is running in a straight line, then he cuts, and then he passes with the side foot. So most people will hit the pass there, but what I'm saying to do is you cut the angle there. So that disarms the centre back. So if I pass there, it's getting intercepted. When I cut the angle, that makes the pass go through. Exactly, Lucas. A lot of people simplify the game, man. Chip shot, no, the chip shots are only if the goalie rushes out, really. Yeah, you reset the play the whole time. You reset the play the whole time. Again, you can show this in training mode very easily. Very, very easily, man. Because if a pass isn't on, you just reset the play. And what you're doing there is 2 or 3 different things. You're resetting the animations, you're resetting the gameplay loop from the players. And like from this, if I don't want to force this through, most casual players or most people that just want to score will force this pass into a dangerous area. And I might get it into the box and I might score out of it. But what really, really top class, like the top 500 in the world or the top 1,000 in the world, what they will do most often than not, in terms of skill level, I'm talking about the guys that are actually really skilled at the game now. I'm not talking about guys that just play 40 hours a week and it's just pure longevity that they get. What a lot of people will do is, like, for a simple pass like this, it's about the extra pass. That's what it is about. So you can see Cruyff's run there, but that's a high risk pass into Cruyff. If it works, brilliant. But what some people will do is they'll recycle the whole way across the pitch. Look. And then you'll say, right, what's on? Okay, cut the angle, shots on. And then you can take a shot or you can pass the ball in again. Exactly. You don't always have to pass forward. That's a great point as well. Yeah, the defending tutorial, lads. This is a defending tutorial. Just hold L2, man. Look. Just hold L2 and position the player. That's all you have to do, man. But again, if you are passing the ball forward here, right, it's very, very easy to take the simplified pass. But if you're playing against somebody that is able to mix it up, like, who would have thought I'd go back with that? What does that achieve? Well, it doesn't really achieve much apart from bringing Bergomi into the pitch and also put me into a position where I'm able to create more options for myself. Nobody's expecting me to pass back there. All right, let's get back to building player, man. Yeah, AZ, yeah, man, it is. It does work. It does work. So I'm glad that it works, man. No, I don't think that they'll change it, man. I don't think that they'll change that. Hopefully not. All right, who did you want to say, lads? Salah is very easy. Salah is a very easy player to build up, right? If you look at Salah, his base stats are 88 finishing and 88 speed straight off the rip. But the tight possession and the balance. Balance is where it's going to take most of his skills or most of his stats. So if we put the balance up to 88 to get us 90 balance, and we also put the dribbling up, or does he have the... Sorry, I forgot to check his booster. No, that's it. So he'll have 97 acceleration, 90 balance, 90 tight possession. We only need to pop 2 into finishing. And you've got this card here now. 2 into shooting, 0 into passing, 11 into dribbling, 13 into dex. You've got 88 speed, 97 acceleration, 83 kicking power, 90 balance, 90 finishing, 90 tight possession. Ball control and attacking awareness, I'd like a little bit higher. But probably what I will try and do for Salah, because he's got blitz curler, you guessed it, I'm going to pop a few more onto curl. And I'm also going to try and get his passing to 75. Now, that's not a huge concern. But I would like to do that. Now you've got that build. 85, 90, 95, 91, 93 finishing, 90 curl, 88 speed, 97 acceleration, 83 kicking power, and 90 balance. Now we can just throw the rest in wherever we want. Probably put it into speed, just to throw 5 into speed to get his stamina up and his speed up. And then also on top of that, we gave him acrobatic finishing and no-look pass. They're just random skills that we give him. It does, Lucas, but that's the thing, man. If you can stop, that's probably, I would say that's probably the biggest bit of advice that I would give if people were to listen to, is don't get caught in the counter. This game, 80% of the time you can see the goal against a good opponent will be caught in a counter, trying to launch your own attack. Pretty, I will show you free Ronaldo, bro. I will show you free Ronaldo. Free Ronaldo is kind of a difficult one to train because he doesn't have high acceleration or balance. But we'll show you, man. We'll show you. With Ronaldo, you just want him, once he's in the box, to be able to finish. So we would go 10 into shooting. We would also go with the dribbling. He's not got the best dribble, man, in the game. But we'll have to max that out at tight possession at 85 with no booster. And then dexterity, I'm probably going to pop 1 into speed and the rest into dexterity. The reason why I'm popping 1 into dexterity or 1 into speed is because I'm not going to be playing Ronaldo as my main striker. He's not good enough, man. His balance isn't good enough. His acceleration isn't good enough. And nothing is really good enough here. Now, he's still an okay player. You can still get some good out of him with the boost. You're going to have 80 speed. You're going to have 76 balance. You're going to have 85 tight possession, 90 finishing, 83 acceleration. It's just not a phenomenal card, to be honest with you. All the Blitz Curler cards are pretty much the same, man. Son, Salah, and Chiesa. They're all going to be pretty much the same. And any version of Son is going to be the same. It's the same as what I just showed you there. It's the same as I showed there with the main man there, Salah. And I do really like Salah, man. I think he's a phenomenal player in the game. And I didn't for a long time. But he is extraordinary in this game now. Lads, we're at 165 likes, man. Try and get it up, boys. Try and get it up, man, to 200. It would be epic. And we'll stream for a little bit longer. For every 10 likes, I'll stream another 10 minutes. Bribing you guys. This Son is ridiculous, man. This Son is absolutely ridiculous as a winger or else through the middle. Now, it depends. This is kind of a different card because if I was playing him through the middle, well, this Ronaldo card is bad, but the booster Ronaldo card that they gave is phenomenal, man. It's a really, really good card. Look, this Ronaldo is fantastic, man. He can play left mid, left wing, right wing, centre forward or SS. This is a phenomenal card. 90 acceleration, 80 tight possession, 90 finishing, 91 attack and awareness, 80 speed. Very, very solid card. Way better than his stats look because he's got phenomenal finishing as well. But if you're playing Salah through the middle or Son through the middle, I would train him up kind of something to this, right? Now, the problem with him is that if you go 1 into finishing, I would probably go extra finishing with Son if I'm playing him through the middle. So I would go like this. Now, this is a bit way too much. 97 finishing, 97 curl. But the reason for that is because the rest of the stats that you're going to be putting up with, you're not going to be dribbling too much with him. The reason for that is you're going to be maxing out his dexterity. So with the boost there, you're going to have 97 finishing, 97 curl. Actually, I've gone too much into shooting. 1 second, boys. 6. So that's what we would build him as. Through the middle now. This is just for a centre forward version of him. This is not the best build in my opinion. But you've got 95 acceleration. You've got 85 balance, 82 tight possession, 95 finishing, and 95 curl. And then you still have a couple of stats there that you want to. Now we can't get 8 more into dribbling. We just can't do it. So tight possession at 85 is going to have to do us. Because at the moment it's at 82. We're getting the booster to ball control. So that's going to have to do us there. And then we'll probably pop the rest into lower body. And that'll do us through the middle. That's going to be 89 speed, 85 stamina, 95 finishing. Now, realistically, that's going to be a really nice CF. But realistically, I would use Son as a winger. So if I'm using him as a winger, I only need to pop 1 into his finishing because he's going to get the boost. 90 finishing, 90 curl. Perfect. 10 into acceleration. 10 into acceleration. 11 into dribbling. And that's going to have the winger there that the build that you want. You know, this is the key stats for him. Now, a lot of the card with this is going to come down to his shooting ability. I don't have that much stuff on this Son, but he's still unbelievable, man. 93 matches, 38 goals, 26 assists. Acceleration 90, kicking power 90. We can actually improve the kicking power a little bit if we want to. Now, the problem with this card is that if we want to get this into the 90 zone, which is where I would put him, you have to kind of give a little bit of limitations to everything else. That's the only problem with it. But that is the build I've gone for with him. Look at those stats, man. I need to go for a quick pee, lads. I'll be back in a sec. Who's texting me? Okay, I'll be back in 2 seconds, lads. And we'll train some more. All right, boys. Free Maradona build. We've already covered that, man. That's the free Maradona build. Maradona is a weird card in this game, man. Weird card. I can do a Neymar build as well. Neymar is very easy because he goes to 90 in so many stats. Any of the players that go to 90 in like 5+ stats, you don't need to worry about. Sherry, please show best formation to hold ball, not lose ball for long ball counter. I mean, you're looking at it, man. You're looking at it. 4-2-1-3. Holding the ball is not a tactic or formation issue. It needs to be your style of play. I don't play long ball counter. I don't play long ball counter, even though I'm playing long ball counter. Does that make sense? I play possession within this system. Ten Hag and this system and play style doesn't dictate to me what my play style is, because I play possession most of the time with this formation. Oh man, I tell you, if R9 comes, it's going to be scary. This Neymar is very easy to build up because you can get 90 in everything. The only decision you have to make is whether you want to give him 90 speed or not. If you want to pop a few into lower body. He's a weird card because he doesn't go to certain levels in certain things. His passing is bad. His finishing doesn't go to 90. Comparing him to like the free Neymar is way easier to use. Plus, he's also got classic number 10, which is probably the worst playstyle. Garmy, thank you, brother. Thank you so much, bro. I'll have a look at Petit in a sec. Sherry, I mean, if you don't have patience and you don't want to play possession, you can play long ball counter, but just be very aggressive. How to win the ball back without making a slide tackle? I mean, the defending in this game is so easy, man. But this Neymar, lads, look, the only decision you have to make with this Neymar is how much you want him to be a beast. Finishing is very, very simple with this Neymar card, with the booster that he gets. If you have a card like this. Captain, I already have a video up on Cruyff on the channel, man. And I've already covered Cruyff here about 10 minutes ago. You don't need passing with this Neymar. He's a CF. Dribbling is going to be very, very easy as well. You can actually get the dribbling up as high as you possibly can with the tight possession. That's the only decision you need to make on this card. If you want the lower body to be a little bit lower. So there you have 90 acceleration, 91 balance, 92 tight possession, 96, 101 and 90. Now, we don't even need to go that high on the dribbling. The 101 dribbling is too much. So once we have 15 into dribbling here, which is the most bulk of it, that's going to give you the +4 boost with the manager and the booster that Neymar has. His booster is technique +2. A lot of the time, I don't even give skills to cards, man, because I like to test out the cards first before I make them my ultimate. And I don't play for meta and I don't play for rank. So I don't need to have the same 11 players in my squad every game. I always switch it up. I'll play Neymar 3 games, I'll get bored of him and I'll use Collar. But all you really need to do on this card here is put 5 into Dex. Into the shooting, you go 10. 90 attacking awareness, 94 ball control, 101 dribbling, 90 tight possession, 90 finishing, 91 acceleration, 92 speed, 92 balance. Unbelievable, man. It's an unreal card. And then if you want to, you can still get the lower body up nearly to 90. And the stamina won't be an issue at all. Best formations for quick counter: 4-3-3, 4-2-1-3, 4-2-4, 3-5-2. Yeah, well, that takes practice, Alex. That's the thing, man. I like to play possession as much as I possibly can, but I do mix in, obviously, LBC as well. Garmy, appreciate that, bro. I hope you're enjoying it, man. We've enjoyed streaming today. It's been a beastly time. Barry, you have to show a little bit in training mode, those speed modes. When you press the speed button slower and the player cut the ankle easier and taster. Yeah, well, I mean, faster. Sorry, King Dre. Yeah, I read that wrong. And faster. Yeah, that is a little bit contextual as well, but it doesn't really work online as much. That's what Lucas was saying earlier, man. That like if you can get master like holding off people with a strong if you've got a physical context stat that's really high, you can hold off players very effectively. But most people don't do that because the game is so fast. Well, Sherry, it's a video game. You should just be enjoying it, man. That's all. It doesn't matter about winning or losing. It's not the end of the world if you lose the game. Yeah, Petit is good, but I just feel like that there's so many good DMFs in the game that you are kind of struggling to get him in there. Yo, Sans, what's up, brother? Like, any of these cards that you have here are going to be beastly. Any of these cards, if you play them in that role. Jorginho, Goretzka. This Barella is actually quite a beast as well. This free Goretzka was quite a beast. I've had lots of cards. We had the old school Petit. Now, the problem with Petit is because he's a box-to-box, you have to train him defensively. He's not going to have much going forward. Now, of course, we can train him up and he'll do a job for us. That's no problem. And we can show you here that he's actually quite beastly, man. Aries, not at the moment, bro, but watch this space, man. Watch this space in the future. So with Petit as a box-to-box, you already have your anchor man. So he's going to be doing the majority of it. So what do you want from Petit? You want him to be aggressive. Now, he can be aggressive. He's actually quite a decent player. I was surprised how good he was when I played with him. 90 aggression, 91 defense and engagement. Get that speed up to 80 if you can, which we will. And of course, we always like to have a little bit of physicality on our players here. So that's 80 speed, 85 physical contact, 91 stamina. That kind of ticks all boxes for where we want him to go. Makelele-esque, that's what he is. Now we can obviously tweak up his possession a little bit. We can also tweak up his acceleration a little bit. And we can tweak up his passing a little bit. So that's going to leave us with 11 progression points. But you've now got low pass 85. You've also got tight possession 75 and acceleration 75. Now you can decide whether you want more speed or you want more defense. They're both similar. So defending is 10, lower body strength is 9. You can get, with that, 3 more into speed. It's not going to make too much of a difference. But 3 more into this is, because you're going to be able to get his defensive stats up all into the 90s. So that's the build I'd go with there. Messi's version of the pack. Well, this version of Messi, the ambassador version of Messi, was quite decent. But even look at Kante, man. Kante is a monster. This Kante card rivals Makelele. Look. Like, Makelele is a beast. Probably my favorite card in the game. That's Nafiera. But this Kante card is ridiculous as well. Look. Look at this card, man. It evens up really, really nicely with him. Obviously, Kante is not fully trained up, but like, look at the stats. 99 stamina, 97 tackling, 96 aggression. Beautiful card. I really like this Kante card. Just a pity that his form is always down. We're going to reset him for tomorrow. This version here of Messi was the ambassador one. This is a good player, but I definitely feel... Yo, you guy, I'll do Pizarro, bro. No need to keep spamming, man. I'll do all the players that you're asking, man. And I'll do Barella as well, Axel. This Messi is pretty decent, but he's just a bit too... Listen, none of the Messi versions compare to these 3. Like, you have the perfect creative player here in Messi as an AMF. Creative playmaker, speed, acceleration, kick and power balance, finishing, everything. I wouldn't even go that high on the finishing here with this build, man. If you're looking at this build here, I would probably go with this. Because of the boost he's getting and because of how he tracks up with the +4, Son of God, low pass, dribbling, finishing, and kick and power he's going to be getting. So if I'm going to be training him up, I don't need to train him up that aggressively. I only need to pop 2 into that if I want to go that route. Or else I can go there and do 85. 94 finish and 95 curl. The low pass is already at 91. I don't need to touch that. Tight possession and ball control only needs 6. So the dribbling only needs 6. And the dexterity can go up high as well. So 90, 90, 102, 91, 91, 94, 95, acceleration 94, 93 balance, and we still have a lot of progression points left, 30. These cards are ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean outrageous. Because you're able to get such high stats on these, there is no equal to these cards if you don't have them. In terms of pure stats, and they don't always play above with their stats, you know. The speed and the stamina is a big issue here with Messi, but like if you pop 6 or 7 into lower body, that will solve a lot of the problems there. So you've now got 80 speed and 81 stamina. Messi is nerfed, David, in my opinion. Yeah, he is. I've already covered goalkeepers, bro. I'm not going to do Ter Stegen because number 1, I hate him. And number 2, I've already covered a lot of goalkeepers. The goalkeepers are very simple. Ter Stegen, just focus on his reflexes and his goalkeeper awareness. That's all you need. They're all the same, lads. All these versions of Messi's are absolutely unbelievable. This Messi as a creative option, you've got everything that you could possibly want out of him. There's nothing that you need. Like, he's the finished article here at that. You can't get his physical contact up too high. You can get this up a little bit more if you want to, of course, to get his acceleration and balance up, which I would probably go for. 97, 97, 96. You can get the tight possession up a little bit more if you want to. You can get the lofted pass up a little bit more if you wanted to. It's just a ridiculous card, man. 105 all over. Then if you're looking for a flank option, you've got the boot kiss Messi, who is just a pure pace, and he's got good heading stat as well and good finishing. That's the build that we went with Messi there. So 90 speed, 103 acceleration, 90 balance, 90 tight possession, 90 finishing. You're basically just going to be ripping up the wings with him. That's all you're going to be doing. 1-1, 14, 12. And then this version of Messi is the ultimate. This World Cup winning version of Messi is the ultimate. I'm going to just take his progression here, because we'll be able to retrain him for free tomorrow. Don't forget to do it, lads. If you're watching this stream, man, and you're watching me and you're like, what's he doing resetting all his players? I'm resetting them because this reset is over tomorrow, man. Look. It's 600,000 for tomorrow, unless they advance it. But this Messi is ridiculous. Look at all the stats. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 stats that are over 90. Ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. Abraham, I've already covered that, but if you are looking for a kind of a ball carrying attack or a ball carrying CMF, it's all about the player that you play. So for example, one such example of that would be the free Bellingham. If I can find him here. Or Barella or any of those. Barella is actually a really good option. Let me do Barella, man. Because I've seen people asking for Barella earlier. Let me do Barella. And Barella is probably one of the best players that you could buy straight off the rip. So we have two versions of Barella here. So this is a really good example of an attacking box-to-box that you can make either defensive or a box. Or a attacking box-to-box. Speed is going to be really, really nice. Acceleration is going to be nice. This is a defensive build of him. Right here that you're seeing. So 0, 1, 0, 2, 11, 5, 14 into defending. Okay? If you're going to be going for an attacking-based version of him, I would go something along the lines of this. Passing, doesn't really need too much passing. That will do with 83. Dribbling, once we get to tight possession to 83. Acceleration to 85. The speed to 85. No, we'd probably go a little bit more with the acceleration now here to get the balance up. Finishing we don't need. We still want him to be aggressive. So even though he's defensively going to be not that defender that we're looking at, we don't need him to be. We can just put the rest into anything else. So I'll get the acceleration up, and we'll also pop one more onto the finishing, onto the passing there. And that's going to be our attacking option there for a centre midfielder box-to-box. Still have the 90 aggression to win the ball back, but you've got the balance, the acceleration, and the stamina. Don't play Santos. Don't play this Santos as a right winger. There's no point because he's a deep line forward. You're just wasting your time playing him as a right winger. But this build will do, apart from his finishing. Bro, I'm not doing Ter Stegen, man. I hate Ter Stegen. I'm not doing him. Sorry, no. I'm putting the foot down. Why does Romario's stats look like compared with a good player of the week version of Mbappe? There's no comparison, man. Romario is the best player in the game by a mile, in my opinion. Like, if you look at Lautaro Martinez there, who's a player of the week, look at the difference in the stats. Right, they both have 94. They both got high attacking awareness. But look at the difference in ball control. Look at the difference in tight possession. Both have similar finishing, but look at the difference in speed and acceleration. Mbappe does compare a little bit, I'll be honest. Mbappe compares probably the best of all. Especially the free versions of Mbappe that they gave, or this one here. Goal poacher. So you can look there yourself, man, and tell the tale of the tape. Very similar cards. But again, the balance, you see the 10 from Romario there. Also with the tight possession, it's 4 for him. That's a big thing, man. Listen, very, very quickly, man. If you're doing Ter Stegen, they're all the same cards, man. Any card, I've already covered this. Any card that's above 190, You don't need to train him up too high with the reach or anything like that. Any player that you want, you can train him the way you want. Yeah, this version of Neymar, I would only play him as a CF. This version of Neymar, I would play as an AMF. The Showtime one. This one, even though he's down as a left winger. And I'll show you why. Number one, he's down as a creative playmaker. Number two, his passing stats are ridiculous off the rip. Look at this build, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stats over 90. It's ridiculous. Pizarro build is this. That's the build we went for with Pizarro. Listen, any goalkeeper that you want to look at, I've already covered it very, very easily. Right, there's the build for Pizarro, lads. All you want with Pizarro is high balance, high finishing, and high attacking awareness. And then physical contact and kicking power and jumping. Any goalkeeper really quick, right? And I'm not going to repeat this anymore. If you have a goalkeeper shorter than 190 cm, such as Casillas, Sommer, any of those, maximize his goalkeeper awareness, okay, to at least 90, and his goalkeeper reflexes to at least 90, and then focus on his reach, if you can, and then the rest on jump. That is where I would go with that card. That's where I would go there. So that means 96 jump, 91 reach, 90 goalkeeper awareness, and 90 reflexes. And obviously, depending on how you like save shots, if you use a lot of manual goalkeeping, you can do the reflexes a bit more. So once you have the aerial strength up there a little bit, you can obviously have that with the awareness, and that will stack. So you can go like that with the jumping, get his reach up as high as you can, and then the rest into that. Like that. 90 jumping, 93 parrying, 92 reflexes, 95 reflexes. If you are using a goalkeeper that's tall, like Petr Cech, okay, who's above 190 cm, you don't need to focus too much on his jump. It's simple enough. So when we're doing his awareness here, we're going to be getting the boost that Cech has. So we only need to go with 4 into that. We only need to go with the reflexes 4, and we only need to go 8 into catching. So what happens when we have that? Now we have this build here, where we've got 90 awareness, 90 catching, 94 reflexes, 80 parrying. The parrying is not so much of a big issue because he's so tall. So what we want to do with the rest of this card now is get the reach up. Me and Ter Stegen have a love-hate relationship, lads. Let's just leave it at that, man, okay? Those who know. And those who don't shall never know. Now we have this player here that's going to be in 90s and everything. We can get the parrying up if we want, but I always don't think that you need the parrying too high. Axelrod, I mean, I've already trained Barella, man. I've told you exactly. You don't need to train, you don't need to train a specific card a different way. You just either have to decide whether you want him as a ball-carrying, attacking centre midfielder or a defensive-minded, win-the-ball-back type of midfielder. Do you get what I'm saying to you? That's what a pure box-to-box guy is, and he'll do. You know? Don't think about it, right? Don't think about it as Barella having a weakness as a defensive CMF with the way you've built him. Build him not to have a weakness for the way you want to play him. You don't need defense if you've got an anchorman. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Now, we can go with the parrying here if we want. We can get the parrying up. But I don't really care about the parrying, man, too much. But that's going to be a dominant card there. Very, very nice card. Any of these cards, man, are going to be nice. And, of course, the awareness or the reflexes can always be boosted up there as well. And, of course, we can still get to jumping up a little bit. 94, 90, 90, 94, 95. Drogba is a very simple card as well, man. I'll do Nkunku in a second. That's the build we've gone for with Drogba. 4, 0, 4, 13, 6, 9. Reason why we've gone for dexterity so high is to basically get his attack and awareness as high as we possibly can. We can't go higher than 99, so we tap it out at 99. Problem with Drogba is his balance, so you're not going to be running with him. Nkunku. I got this version of Nkunku way back when on this account. And I knew he was a beast-like player. Where is he, man? Or is it on the other? Oh no, it's the other profile I have Nkunku, I think. It's the other profile I have Nkunku, lads. I'm nearly sure. But Nkunku is very similar to any of these type of players that you're going to be training up. Like Ribery, it's the same thing. You're going to max out and get his acceleration, balance, tight possession, and dribbling as high as you possibly can. Salt. The top 5 GP cards, in my opinion, if you were starting off and spending zero money, if you're starting off with top 5 GP and you're only choosing to play with GP cards, I would say that the top 5 cards, in my opinion, would probably be Mbappe. I would also probably say Marquinhos, Donnarumma, Mbappe, I would say definitely. Marquinhos is probably going to be another one that I would choose as well. And he's not that expensive, actually. He's only 180,000. Donnarumma, Oblak, or Courtois. I would also probably say Rodri. This standard card Rodri is a menace, lads. He's unbelievable in the game. If you've got nothing better, I'm talking about just GP. Mbappe, Rodri, either Courtois, Donna, or Oblak. It's just a personal choice. Marquinhos. That's kind of basically setting up your squad where you've got the main kind of guys that you want to have. I would also probably have, depending on your play style, an out wide player when you're starting off. It's nice to learn the game out wide. Pedri is probably one of the best pound for pound AMFs in the game when you're starting off as well. Any of those guys. And then it's just a case of picking a winger that you want, or else a right or left back. I would probably recommend when you're starting off, maybe Koundé right back, which is pretty decent, to pair with Marquinhos. But yeah, there's only maybe 3 or 4 players that I would probably recommend, and they would be it. The rest of the players are kind of personal choice, and they don't really stack it up even against free ones. Like, for example, Pedri as an AMF, the new free Songkrasen is better than him. Mbappe, the new free Neymar is probably better than Mbappe. But yeah, if you're strictly just talking about GP, I would definitely say Rodri and Mbappe, Donnarumma, Courtois, or Oblak, Marquinhos, and then probably either an out wide player like Vinny, Mitoma, Diaz, Cavara, any of those, or Pedri. Pedri as an attacking option is unbelievable, man. Pedri is a beast. But there's lots of good cards. Wan-Bissaka right back is a beast. Araujo is actually quite decent. Musiala is quite decent. Tomiyasu, Varane, Koundé, all of these cards. Jesus is good. There's loads, but they're the ones I would say, in my opinion. There's a lot of cards that you guys will like. A lot of cards that play way above stats as well. Because it all comes down to personal, man. It all comes down to personal choice. The premium cards, they do give you a big advantage if you know how to play the game. That's the big thing. That's the one big advantage that they have, you know, is that there's no weakness in the cards. This Cavara was actually one of my favorite players before, and I know Lucas loves him. This is the build that we went for with him. Now, there's no passing, there's no knotting with him, there's no finishing with him, but what we've gone for here is just a pure pace demon. GP Son, yeah, is still good. Bellingham is still a beast. Poch is still good. Klosterman, Saliba, Tomiyasu. Carlos build. Carlos is a very easy card to build as well, but it depends. Again, this kind of makes the point for me, right? If you want to build Carlos, you have to decide what you want to use him as. Is he going to be an attacking option or a defensive option? Because as an attacking option, he has no equal as a left back. Because look, defensively, if you max out his defense, this is the highest his defense can go. Defensive awareness is going to be 85, aggression 97, 91 tackling. Now he's still a very solid card if you just do that. But I wouldn't play him as a defensive left back. Because it doesn't, you don't want him there. I would probably get his defending to maybe 85 aggression or maybe 88 aggression. That will basically let you have 90 aggression to win the ball back, which is the main thing to do when you don't have the ball. Also, I would probably pop up his speed and his acceleration. Because he's getting the booster, that's going to be 97 speed, 94 stamina, 90 acceleration. I want Carlos to be faster off the ball than with the ball. Even though I'll be able to run with him, that'll be fine. But I feel like that's the best build for him. And then the rest of it is picking your poison as to what player you are. You like to dribble a lot up the flanks? Brilliant. Train up his tight possession to be at least 90. If you like to loft and pass a load and cross in balls, brilliant. Train up his lofted pass. I usually would say that like 75 or around that is kind of like a nice cutoff for it. So that's the build I'd go for there. And if you're saying, yeah, but I don't want him to be attacking. Well, if you don't want him to be attacking, just use a defensive fullback like Reinildo and go defensive. See what I mean? You're going to be giving up a lot going forward with the ball, but if he's playing as a role that's going to be taken back, you don't need to have him as another option. Bergomi, Dixon, any of those right backs are going to be very easy to train as well because they're so good. Listen, lads, you can't really make bad decisions with these players because they're so good. They don't have any weakness. Even the likes of Ambersini or any of those, there is no real weakness in the card. You know? Because they're able to get like multiple stats into the 90s. Like even with Dixon, who's an average player, you would say, in the game before you actually start training him up. His main stats as a defensive fullback. He's a defensive fullback, remember, right? Look at his stats. So we'll go with defending. We'll get the defending up as much as we possibly can. He's going to get a booster to speed and acceleration. So we only need to pop 7 into each of those. And that's all we need to do. And we don't even need 7 into those, in my opinion. So we can even go more with the defense here. Right there. This is the same, Sammy, as we're going to focus on Wan-Bissaka. If you're if you learn anything at all from this stream, lads, right? If you see a build for Lee Dixon, who's a defensive full-back, it's going to be the same for Bergomi and it's going to be the same for Wan-Bissaka because you're building the same player to do the same role or a different player to do the same role. Look, this is what I'm talking about, man. Just use a little bit of your own logic and say, right, well, what the hell am I trying to achieve with Dixon here? Okay, well, I'm trying to get him to be as best as he possibly can. 90 speed, 7 into acceleration, if that's what you want to do, if you want to run with him a little bit. And then the rest into either aerial strength, physical contact, we'll get that up to 75. And then the defending will get a bit more. It's not complicated, like. And I'm not saying that in a, like, you should know this type of way. I'm just saying that, like, you shouldn't need to see a build for Lee Dixon and Wan-Bissaka. Like, look, Wan-Bissaka and Lee Dixon, both defensive fullbacks, similar weight, similar height. Height for centre backs is a thing. Height for wing backs or left backs isn't really a thing. So obviously Dixon is smaller than him, but Wan-Bissaka is going to have pretty much the same thing. Look, speed, Wan-Bissaka's got 95, Dixon has got 90. Acceleration, Wan-Bissaka has got 85, Dixon's got 90. Same thing. Stamina, similar. Balance, similar. Physical contact, similar. Defensive awareness, similar. Tackling, aggression, engagement, all similar. And it's all about the skills that you put on him. They both have blocker, they both have interception, they both have man marking. Fighting spirit. So it's just a little bit of, like, you don't need to see a build for Bergomi, right? Or Wan-Bissaka or Albert Ferrer if they're all the same card. But if Albert Ferrer is an attacking fullback, it's different. But for a defensive fullback, such as any of those, you don't need to see builds all the time for those. Because look, if I'm training Bergomi up again, I pretty much could close my eyes and train him. Because I know, right, what do I want for Bergomi? I want Bergomi to effectively be a centre back playing right back. Okay, well, what'll I do? Oh, okay, I'll put up his defending. You put up his defending as high as you can possibly go. 89, sorry, I need to go more with this. 11 into defending. Now we're going to say, right, well, if Lee Dixon is my number 1 or Wan-Bissaka, I want their acceleration and that to be similar. Okay, brilliant. Have at it. That's fine. We're also going to be getting the boost, so we can pop this up. So now we have, sorry boys, one more into speed. So now we have a very similar card to Lee Dixon. Okay, 90 speed. If we want to go any higher with acceleration, we're going to have to go a little bit more. But the rest of the stats, I would probably be tempted to put up into defending. And we still have a lot left over. But that is effectively what you're trying to do. One more into defending is going to max out everything pretty much the way we want it. There. And then on top of that, we can throw some more into acceleration. And then, of course, we can pop one more into dribbling. And that's going to give us into that. Now, this is what I'm trying to explain to you. If you've got Bergomi as a right back, who's a defensive full back, right? If you've trained him correctly, you will be able to train another player that's similar in that position. That's why if I've played 500 matches with Romario and they release a new Romario card, I know what I'm looking for when I'm testing him. I know what he's good at. I know how to train him. So when you compare two defensive fullbacks, even though the height is a little bit different, they're going to have similar stats. Look at the discrepancy between them. It's barely noticeable. Same speed. Dixon's got slightly better acceleration, but worse kicking power, worse or better balance, and better stamina, but worse defensive engagement, worse defensive awareness, worse tackling, and better aggression. So they're very similar. What it comes down to then is, oh, Bergomi doesn't have blocker, but Dixon does. That's a big difference. Ray, thank you, bro. Thank you for becoming assistant manager, man. Thank you so much, bro. Give your GGs to Ray, lads. Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate that. It's the same with any of these. Danilo is an attacking fullback. So if you're training an attacking fullback because you have a defensive over on the left and you want to have a right fullback that's an attacking fullback, you don't need to train him up the same way as Wan-Bissaka. Do you get what I'm trying to say to you? So for example, with Hakimi here, if we train him up, right? Hakimi is a guy that we can give a lot of points to very, very quickly. And even at level 1, this guy is going to have 89 speed. So 89 speed, we pop 1 into that and we pop 4 into this. That's going to give us 90 acceleration and 90 speed. That's a brilliant launch pad. But no matter what we do, we're not going to turn him into a defensive fullback because his aggression is too low. We can give him blocker and interception and all that as additional skills, yeah. But we're essentially using him as a Roberto Carlos on the right flank instead of using a defensive fullback because we have Reinildo as our defensive fullback and we have our 2 other defenders here. So we're defending with these 3 and Rijkaard. And we're attacking with Hakimi up the flank to link up with Messi. So this guy here is going to be an attacking option. So we're going to get his tight possession up and the dribbling, the ball control up as much as we can. We're going to get the passing up. We're going to get the dexterity and the lower body up as much as we can. And we're also going to get his aggression up that will be able to help out a little bit. But it's a secondary role that he's going to be playing. 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 92 stamina, 80 pass, 82 dribbling. These 2 cards don't compare with each other. These 2 cards. They don't compare, man, because look at the difference in defense. You're talking about 75 aggression versus 96. 78 awareness versus 92. But these 2 cards do compare. As attacking fullbacks or fullback finishers. Ball control, tight possession, low pass, lofted pass. There's +5, -5 in all these stats. Defensively, they're similar enough. Stamina, they're very similar. Speed, they're very similar. Something unique about his player is should be win balls. Yeah, all the players win balls in the air, man. I usually struggle with level and centre pairs such as box to box like Barella, Arcseer like Kama, creator players like Schneider, Pedri. Well, Fido, as we've covered already, man, I don't know when you joined the game or when you joined the stream, but honestly, if you're looking for a centre midfielder, the game really kind of tells you by looking at the player of the weeks. So, for example, I've already focused on doing Pedri, right? Pedri is a guy that you can play as a centre midfielder, okay? Or an attacking midfielder. Barella's a box-to-box, and we've built him for defensive build here. So if we're building Barella as a defensive build, we're going to train him differently. We're going to pop up his defending even more. So we'll probably go with this build for Barella because we're going to have Pedri to do that role for him there. So Pedri's going to be our creative. So think about how you're using the cards. Think about what you're trying to achieve with the cards. If you're trying to score goals with Barella, there's no point playing him because he's got 66 finishing. It doesn't matter if you've got 100 training points to put into him. Whereas with Pedri, he's got 65. So you've got two similar players there, but they're doing different roles. With this Pedri here, I'm focused on just dribbling like Iniesta. With Barella, I'm focused on him being like a dog, a wild dog chasing a bone. That's what I want. I don't need to focus too much on his passing. I don't need to focus too much on his dribbling. And I don't need to focus on anything else. Only his speed and getting the ball back as quickly as I possibly can with him. And that's it. You know? Camavinga is the same. If you're looking at Camavinga here, he's suited to a defensive role. Even though he's got 90 low pass, he's suited to that defensive role because he gets really high defensive stats without putting too much into him. 12 is nice. But we've popped 9 into lower body and we've popped 9 into passing. Nothing into shooting. So for example, if you like to shoot with your attacking midfielders, you wouldn't play Pedri. You'd play an attacking midfielder that can shoot the ball. So like, it's very basic stuff, but what a lot of people do, I think sometimes, is they look at players and they're like, oh, this guy's 100 overall, he's a beast. He's an absolute beast, he's a demon. But they don't play to that player's strengths, if that makes sense. You know? Whereas with Zico has pretty much everything apart from finishing. So if you're looking to play Zico there, it's kind of a different style. Whereas with Cruyff, you can train Cruyff as an attacking midfielder to have 85 plus finishing, which is what you really need. My top 5 favourite cards in my team at the moment. I would probably say Romario, Maldini, Tomiyasu, Vieira, and probably Carlos, I would say, yeah. I do, Ollie. I do have that card, but I haven't trained him up as far as I know. I've tried that guy, Posh, yeah. But like, on my road to glory, we would play with him. On my road to glory, I've got a lot of better cards, you know, that are trained properly rather than these super cards. There is no weakness in any card that's over 90. If you can't win games with players that are like have no weakness, then it's either you're coming up against really good opponents as well, or you're getting a bit unlucky, or the game sometimes, lads, dictates a lot of stuff to you. Listen, I don't even talk about Collar anymore, man, because you're talking about Collar. Collar is my ultimate number one. He's not even in a tier list, man. But people complain when I put Collar above a C in the tier list. You know, Luby, I haven't played in him a while, but Luby is actually after getting out of favour with me. If you're talking about players, Luby is just in a league of his own, and Collar. Songkrasen I also like as well. Baggio's a beast. But Romario is my ultimate, in my opinion. Romario is the ultimate for me. I will say as well that Forlan is quite good. And the Free Neymar. Free Neymar is probably one of the most fun players to use. Nah, Bin hasn't produced the goods in a long time, man. Bin had his chance to shine. And he choked. So for me, in my opinion, I would probably put Collar and Bin in there for a bit of banter as well, yeah. I don't have Costa Corta, but I have a build-up on the channel. Exactly, man. If you're auto-allocating and you're not really, you know, you're letting the game play for yourself, you will lose games coming up against good guys. Camavinga, there's his training, man. That's what we've done for a Camavinga build. There's his training. Now, Luby is still the main man, like, but look again, you've got the balance, acceleration, and tight possession very high. Giroud is pretty decent. I've been impressed with Giroud. Very impressed. Forlan is probably one of the best pound for pound players in the game as well. Exceptional player. This was also a fantastic card as well, man. That Jesus card. Tomiyasu build is the same as every other version of Tomiyasu. All these cards are the same, man. Oh, Corona. I haven't used Corona in a while. I did have old school Corona though. All these builds of Tomiyasu are the same. Defensive fullback, but you train him as a CB. Free CR7 is okay. But this was a fantastic card, man. Look. And again, this is where these cards kind of come up into fruition. I love this card, man. Corona card. Unbelievable card. Left wing, right back, whatever. Like, again, you have the balance, the tight possession, and the acceleration. Very, very simple card to train. Lombardi is only a cannon fodder. Yeah, well, Giroud is not a run and gun. He's just literally put the ball in his header. That's it. Well, you know what you're getting with Corona, lads. Look how easily he trains up. The game practically tells you how to train him. Paul, if I was deploying Hullet, I would probably put him as a CMF, yeah. CMF or AMF, that's where I'd probably train him. Yeah, this Corona is a monster, man. We do have Dino as well, yeah. We've got all the players here. We've got every player you could possibly imagine, except Hullet and a few of the older legends. This card of Ronaldinho, in my opinion, is a slight disappointment. He's a slight disappointment, man. So I'm hoping they bring out a better card of him. He's still okay, but like he's not anywhere where you'd want him to be. Hullet can play everywhere, yeah. Yeah, it's supposed to be a grey one, man. It's supposed to be a grey kind of colour one coming in. Oh, man, I love Corona. He's one of my favourite players. Pato, I appreciate that message, man. But if you go back and watch my earlier content, when I first started uploading videos again, Corona was probably my main man for the first 50 games. I don't have Deco, no, either. Or maybe I do on my other profile. Yeah, Pizarro's pretty decent. We have Pizarro in our squad. Pizarro's just a brilliant super sub, man. That's what he is. 4 matches played, 1 goal. But he got a really good result for me. Yeah, I mean, if the new Dino is going to be good, man, it'll empty a lot of pockets. No bother, Cav. Thank you, bro. Any of these cards, man, are going to be decent. Any of these cards. Just pick a position, pick a card that you want to put in and train him. If he doesn't hit the heights that you want him to train, then just use somebody else. Oh, this Songkrasen, man, is unbelievable. Unbelievable card. And I had so many clips with him and I did a full review on him and he's unreal. But any of these cards that I have, there's no weaknesses in them. We'll see what cards are there tomorrow, boys. We have a couple of spins, man. We have a couple of spins. Camavinga build, we've already done, which is this. That's a complete box to box. Yo, PZ, welcome in, brother. Ronaldinho needs a end game level, man. I don't think people remember how good Ronaldinho was. That's Cruyff, man, for an attacking midfielder, or for an SS, sorry. Not attacking midfielder. That's his SS build that we went for. Or was that the build we went for? Hold on a second, man. Yeah, this was the SS build. Sorry, that was the AMF build that we saw there. Sorry, man. That's my bad. That's also another card that you could have with that, without the finishing and without with a lot of extra. You could still have finishing, but it's not going to be as high. There's lots of different ways you could build Cruyff. And then the free Bellingham, somebody asked me in the chat there, is a similar role that's going to be played, the free Bellingham. It's a similar role when you train him up. What does he look at? That he's good. I'll give you a tip, right? If any player has a high stat from the rip, just boost up that stat to 90. That is a good tip that I could give you. So for example, with this, I will boost his aggression up to 88. I'll boost his passing up to 83. And then we'll get his speed up and his dexterity up a little bit. That's going to be a fine card, man, there, if you just train him as that, as a defensive one. I'll see if I spin for Dino, man. We've had some good donos today again from you guys, so it's been incredible, man. We had 202 likes on the stream, lads. If you're new here, man, and you haven't liked the stream yet, please do. And please subscribe to the channel as well. We will be back tomorrow. This was meant to be a short stream, but I got carried away as usual. But I am off work tomorrow. I'm not working tomorrow at all. So we will be cracking on with some stuff tomorrow. Exactly, Salt. Yeah, exactly. What I'll do tomorrow is I'll test the game with a couple of free-to-play players. I'll test the game. And over Friday, I'll test the game. And if they've changed gameplay or they talk about it or not, then I'll go in and I'll actually build the cards for that gameplay. Co-op will be back, yeah. So that's what I'm going to try and do, man. So I'm just resetting all my players here. That's all I'm doing. Just on the off chance that they change something, man. Because they haven't changed the gameplay that much. They've changed the gameplay about maybe 5 to 10% in the last 3 months, I would say. A video will be straight up after this. It'll be up at around maybe 4:30, because I'm going to stop streaming now because I'm getting tired, man. I'm wrecked. We've been streaming for nearly 4 hours, man. For 3.5 hours. Game in Russo, your guess is as good as mine, brother. I don't know what's going to come tomorrow. They haven't talked about anything yet. They haven't talked about anything, which is kind of their way. So yeah, don't forget to reset your players. Now, Henri isn't going to come tomorrow, I don't think. Well, I do this every update. Now, as I said, I don't think that the big update is going to come tomorrow. I think we'll get an update tomorrow, all right? But I think it'll be more content and setting the stage for Season 5's big update. I hope I'm wrong. But even if it's not, to be honest with you, like, I'm not too down on the gameplay where it is at the moment. I'm more like it's about the connection and stuff like that. And boys, wish me luck, man. I have a final tonight. We're playing a football final tonight. So wish me luck in that, man. That's going to be banter. So I need to start stretching and prepare for that. Ugh. It'll be beast, man, if we win. Hopefully we do, man. We should win, but the team we're playing are pretty decent, so we'll see, man. Tomorrow will be Season 5, yeah. But not every season brings in a new update or new gameplay. So for example, I showed this earlier. So if you go into the contracts here now and you go into the special players, all of these are going to be gone tomorrow. All of these. And then the Golden Boys are the nominating contract ones. They're going to be gone as well. Here, all of these are going to be gone. There's only 1 day left. And then also on top of that, usually there's the new season always kicks in. The big telltale of the new season is if you go into the contract here and you go into the packs, this pack was tied to the season here. So this pack here was tied to the season. This content, the lunar kit, was tied to last year's kit or season. And that's going to be expiring tomorrow as well. There's only 10 hours left on that. On top of that, we have the match pass and the eFootball phase resetting as well. Thank you, boys. Thank you, boys. Yeah, hopefully, man. I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing like right wing, but it's like AMF. It's an Astro League. It's an Astro League tonight. And then after that, I'm actually playing another Astro tonight. After that. So I have two. I have a final, and then I have a casual game that I play with like local lads. So yeah, man, I'm trying to get fit, man, for the wedding, because I need to lose weight, lads. I need to lose a couple of chins, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to get the right meta build for myself tonight. But yeah, I would advise, lads, I reckon I'm not gonna reset everybody, because I want to be able to test out players. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to test out, like, say, if I'm used to using the likes of any of these cards, I'm not going to reset every player so that I can actually test out everybody. You know, with the old builds. That's the only way that you'll see what's different. So it's like if all of a sudden, if I'm using this Salah, or if I'm using Iker Casillas, and I'm like, oh, they feel way different than they did last week or 2 days ago. So I'm going to leave a lot of the players. But yeah, if you're going to reset all of them, it's going to take you about a half an hour to do. Man, do you know what's hard when you've got a game, when you've got a match, right? If you guys still play football or whatever, it's hard to time when to eat, man. I remember like last week I was playing, or was it 2 weeks ago, I was playing the semi-final. We won, obviously, because we're in the final. But, oh man, I had a wicked burp during the match at one stage. I got like a kick into the like, kind of the groin area, like the stomach groin, kind of like up there. And I had a burp and I could just literally taste my dinner, man. It was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, well, we'll be streaming tomorrow, lads. My plan for tomorrow, right, just as we wind down this stream, my plan for tomorrow is I'm going to get up early. We're going to have a look and do a kind of a roundup of everything, because I know some of you guys won't be able to drop into the stream straight away. So I'm going to do a roundup of everything new. What's new on Thursday, players, packs, gameplay additions, anything that they've done I'll cover in like a 7 to 8 minute video. Then I'm going to do the player of the week review. And then I'm going to just jump straight into a stream. And we'll go through everything live. So I'm hoping to stream a little bit earlier than normal tomorrow, because I'm actually off work tomorrow. Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying, football lad. That's why I need to go and eat now, man. I need to go and eat now, because the match is at like 8. Or like 7:30. So we'll stream. We will be back streaming tomorrow. You're never too old, Roma. You're never too old, brother. It'll be earlier than today, Roma. It'll be earlier than today. As soon as I'm up tomorrow and as soon as I have the video done, I'm actually off work tomorrow, so I have nothing to do tomorrow at work. Usually I do a few hours work before I start streaming on a Thursday and Friday and Monday, but I'm not working tomorrow, so it's all good, man. Outside mids, football lad. If you're using an outside mid, like Corona, either focus on beating a man with dribbling or beat a man. Lad, why does Corona look so scared, man? He looks like he's after seeing Collar and Margot Robbie's home video. If you want to use Corona or a player that's going to cross the ball in, you need to have a target man and you need to have lofted pass and a couple of skills. Yeah, I'm playing on Astro, man. Ron, we need to get our rematch as well. Lucas says that he's going to sponsor a match versus me and you. So you better be ready tomorrow, bro. We're going to put the pressure on. All right, boys, I think I'm going to end it there, man. It's been nearly 4 hours. I want to get this video up as well for people that weren't in the stream. If you have joined late, I hope to see you guys tomorrow. We're going to have a couple of announcements tomorrow. And it's going to be a good stream, man. I hate leaving the stream when there's like 200 plus people in it. But we have been streaming for nearly 4 hours. I've got a match later and another match after that. And we also will be streaming a full day tomorrow. I'm hoping to stream pretty much a long, collar long schlong stream tomorrow. So that's going to be, yeah, a bit of crack. If I missed anything, or if you joined the stream later, you're wondering about certain players, not only will I have a video up, so I'm hoping to put up a video in about an hour's time. I literally need to edit the video, do a little intro, do a little outro, and then pop the video up, do the chapters for it, do a thumbnail, do a title, all that sort of stuff. I'll probably use the same title as I had for this. And then that will be just a 30-minute video that you can go back and watch at any time. I reckon 90% of the information in that video will be fine. But if anything changes, we'll get to that tomorrow, man. We're only going to know when we know. In the meantime, I will probably have a bit of news for you guys tomorrow. I'll try to find out a couple of bits and pieces. So yeah, hopefully, Pumpkin, I understand, man, with the time differences and stuff, it can be hard to catch me. So I'm hoping tomorrow that I'll definitely be streaming pretty much for a long enough period that you'll be able to catch a little bit of it. And you can always watch back the streams, man. I keep the streams up publicly, so it's not a problem. Everyone can watch the streams. I did turn on subscribers only mode today. The reason why I did that was because I was recording videos and using content out of it. So yeah. Ron, don't be making excuses already. Your washing machine is fixed. Come on, bro. Lads, do I hear a choke? Anyway, we'll see what happens tomorrow, man. Wait till I tell Lucas that one. I'm going to take a picture of that comment and send it to El Presidente. Hold on a second now before I exit out of the stream. Hold on a second now. Hold on a second, man. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. There we go. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow, boys. Thank you, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, man, and if you are new to the channel, my name is Barry. We stream Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We have the crack. We train players. We talk. We interact. We have banter. We play subscribers. I'm going to be starting the goal of the week soon. Fails of the week soon. That's already in prep. Check out the Discord. Check us out tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're growing an absolute beastly community here. Full of banter, full of crack, full of collar style. And we will be back every Thursday and Friday streaming. And of course, we stream on Monday as well. We split our content between Road to Glory, Free to Play, and Meta Sweat with all the best players. So you can see us open packs. We get sponsored to open packs from people in the stream with coin giveaways and donos and all that. So yeah, I would appreciate if you subscribe. But mostly, just interact, man. It's good. I like meeting new people. I like talking to people that are that like playing the game and having different opinions. And if you like what you see, do consider liking the stream. Do consider supporting the stream with a like, a share it across Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, Bebo, MySpace. Shout out the window that you're watching me in your house. Whatever you want to do, man. It's all about growing it up. And honestly, I want to get this stream to a position where we're actually able to do some unbelievable stuff. I've been in talks with people. I don't want to get too deep into it now for some projects that I'm working on. But the future is very bright, man, if things keep going the way it's going, with the stuff that we'll be able to do, especially as eFootball 25 launch ramps up. And I want to bring you guys along with us behind the scenes and for all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, that is it for me. I will be back later. I will talk to you later, and we'll leave you with the intro, man. That if you are new here, this is a little bit of a sample of what we actually bring to the channel. I'll talk to you later, lads. Peace. Ball in the collar! Oh!
This is going to be a big one.
Carvajal. That's brilliant, Upamecano, boy. No, reset, lads, reset. Upamecano's dead. Get up, Upamecano, will ya? Who's next? Oh! Back to back to back to back! Back to back to back to back. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, lads. And the look is in for Christmas, man. Number 7, Ronaldo. And then number 7, Kante. Boom! Oh, beautiful. Oh, he's done it again. He's done it again, the Anaconda. He's done it again. Look at it. Look at this, man. Cheeky chips. 83 finishing, lads. He finishes like 103. That's Tommy Yasu. Not easily, anyway. Go on, Mbappe. You've got the pace. This will be a good pass. Oh! Oh, what a pass! What a pass!
We've seen it like a few times now today where there's been a chance or two that have separated these teams, and that's it. You know, they're low scoring.
Now, Morientes, touch and go, Morientes, please. Morientes! Oh, fuck you, Morientes, you killed me. You made me dream. This is leaving us with Bellingham, Barella, Costa Corta. Double pack? Lads, what's going on? I've never seen that animation before, man. It's a 2-on-1, surely. Oh, it's a 2-on-1 after you! Get in! Boom! Stick it in your pipe and smoke it! Now we've got a bit of a dark horse, lads. This guy at Limer, who is a free agent as well. He is an Austrian player. He's a box-to-box centre midfielder.